It's a high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
One hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division Final.
Hello and welcome to Game 2 of the Western Division Semifinals between the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzenowski. Last night the Doors were victorious 3-2 over Bourne to take Game 1. Now they've got a chance to sweep. It was one of many entertaining games on the Cape. All 4 of the playoff Game 1s were settled by 1 run.
Yeah, what a great way for the CCBL to start off the 2019 playoffs. You had a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, and a 4 seed all win, Falmouth being that 1 seed. The 4 seed Harwich combined no-hitter against the Chatham Anglers, and then a walk-off for Wareham against Katuitt. What a great series of games.
So the Doors, maybe not a no-hitter, maybe not a walk-off, but still one of the most tense games of the summer, probably the most tense game of the summer, and one of the more intense games on the Cape last night. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell that this game meant so much to Falmouth and Bourne because every play was perfect in the field, no errors for either side. The Doors explode offensively in the first 2 innings for 3 runs and 7 hits. Weatherly gets tagged for 2 runs in the top of the 6th. All of a sudden, you got a 1-run ball game. Everyone at the Gov was holding their breath and finally exhaled after the 9th.
The Grim Reaper, Zach Brixey, entered in the 9th inning to the tune of Johnny Cash, like he always does, and he locked things down. With a little bit of fanfare, a couple runners reached base, but 3 strikeouts sealed the deal for the Doors in their 3-2 win. And here to talk about the intensity of it, the nerves maybe, is Zach Brixey with our own Katie Florio. Katie. Thank you, Katie and Zach. So the Doors, after last night, trying to maybe have a little bit more of a comfortable win today, and the key to that, I think, is going to be a little more production than they had last night.
Yeah, first let's talk about the pitching matchup, because you got Nick Nastrini and Mac Lardner, these 2 guys who have gone against the other team before, and both did pretty darn well. Nick Nastrini went 5 innings of work, gave up only 1 earned run on a debatable home run, but that's neither here nor there. And then for Bourne, Mac Lardner pitched 7 shutout innings back on July 8th, en route to a 14-0 Bourne win.
So like we said in the first half of this, is that Falmouth scored all of their runs in the first 2 innings, 7 hits in the first 2 innings, and then after that, Bourne was brilliant. The Bourne pitching staff was brilliant, limited the Commodores to only 2 hits in the final 7 innings of play. So I go back to that original question. What's going to be the key for more offensive production to be sustained throughout the ballgame to secure a sweep?
I think the key for the Commodores is base hits was the answer. Who just walked by?
Austin Langworthy.
Austin Langworthy said the key is base hits. My key is going to be the second time through the order, because yesterday Rutkowski shoved the second and third times through the order for Falmouth, and they really only got to him in the first couple innings. I think if they can get to Mac Lardner in innings 3 through 5, and then maybe put a little bit of separation between them and Bourne, they're going to be looking good for the sweep.
Last night we said that the crucial moments were going to be the first 3 innings. This time we're saying it's going to be the middle 3 innings, but one thing stays true that we predicted before the series started. It may be the most lopsided matchup that the Cape will see in the first round of the playoffs, but it's definitely going to be one of the most competitive, the way these 2 teams play each other. Game 2, I'm sure another competitive one will be coming your way in just a couple of minutes, so be sure to stay tuned to YouTube Live and the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. That'll do it for the pregame show. For Katie Florio and David Korzenowski and Matt Nelson, who's getting the start tonight, I'm Daniel LaRose saying so long, and we'll see you in a bit.
Game 1 between the 1-seed Falmouth Commodores and the 4-seed Bourne Braves was an instant classic. The Doors claimed a victory by a 1-run deficit, winning 3-2 and stranding the tying and go-ahead runners on base for the Braves in the 9th inning. Tonight it's round 2, and we are on the road at Doran Park in Bourne, where the Braves will attempt to save their season in front of the home crowd. The Commodores, meanwhile, are 1 win away from advancing to their second straight Western Conference final. Good evening and welcome to this presentation of Playoff Baseball on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Danny LaRose here, joined alongside David Korzenowski, as Game 2 is only moments away from getting underway. David, what are you watching out for tonight as we have a great pitching matchup on the docket?
I think you stole it right there. It's the pitching matchup. Mac Lardner shoved against the Commodores in their matchup back on July 8th. He threw 7 innings. That's the longest we've seen any starter go all summer, either for the Commodores or one of their opponents. He was magnificent. Struck out 8 batters, allowed only 2 hits. He had a string in between batters there where he retired 19 in a row. He was absolutely exceptional. And for the Commodores, they have one of their most level-headed and consistent starters in Nick Nastrini from UCLA going. So that's what I'm watching out for today. I think this is going to be another low-scoring game, and the Commodores might pile on some runs in the final few innings.
So Lardner versus Nastrini, as Hayden Cantrell, the perennial leadoff man, will step up to the right-handed batter's box for the Commodores. Mac Lardner, a 2-2 record on the summer, 2.25 ERA in 6 games. All of them starts, 32 innings of work. He struck out 31 batters and only walked 3. Brilliant pitcher that the Braves have as their backup man to their ace, as the first pitch is a fastball just below the knees at 6:01 p.m., and we are underway in game number 2 between the Doors and the Braves. The final game 2 to get started for this 4-game slate for the Cape League. 0-1 to Cantrell is clubbed into left field right at Jake McKenzie, who will make the catch for out number 1. 2 pitches in, and we have a man retired.
Hayden Cantrell, a guy who swings early a lot of the time. Back in that outing that Mac Lardner threw against the Commodores, one of the 2 hits that he gave up was the first pitch of the game to Hayden Cantrell. He takes 1 pitch, but then smacks the second one into left. Good contact, but just couldn't get it down.
Commodores lineup led off by Cantrell will be followed up by Blake Dunn and Zach DeLoach. 1-2-3 for the Doors as ball number 1 skips on the plate to Dunn. Trey Cruz is batting cleanup, followed by Jackson Coots, Troy Claunch, Steven Moretto, and the final 2 men in the order. Matt Nelson getting the start today, and then Austin Maisel as a strike comes over the outside part of the plate to even up the count to Dunn. Blake last night had 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats, including an RBI. He lines one towards short, and this will be his 3rd hit of the playoffs as he's 1 for 1 with that single into left field.
Lardner's working low right now in the zone, but Blake Dunn all over it. He saw just a couple pitches that Hayden Cantrell took and then swung at, and he did the exact same thing. He took ball 1 and then strike 1. It was another low fastball, as Lardner has yet to really go to the off-speed very much. And Dunn, great start to the postseason, now 3 for 4 across 2 games.
This is something Falmouth did yesterday, where they swung early and swung often against Harry Rutkowski. Bourne's ace were able to tag him with 3 runs and 7 hits over the first 2 innings. Zach DeLoach will swing at the first pitch as he fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike to the Cape Cod League batting champion. Finished the regular season at .353 and was crowned with the hardware yesterday.
And even though Lardner was great against Falmouth, he hasn't been untouchable. His last start of the summer was only 4 innings of work. It was actually a loss in which he gave up 4 earned runs against Chatham.
DeLoach with Blake Dunn on first. Facing the lefty in Lardner. Here's the pitch. Dunn fakes the go as Carmody behind the plate will pump fake back towards him. Watch him back. The ball misses low. The defensive alignment for Bourne, left field, Jake McKenzie, center field, Judd Fabian, right field, Brendan Rivoli. The infield, Xavier Warren at 3rd, Jimmy Glowinky at short, Cody Morissette at 2nd, and Joshua Madole at 1st. And then it's Carmody, as we mentioned, behind the plate. Pickoff move over to first, nothing doing.
Doors didn't really test their luck on the base paths last night, as all of the runners that were getting on in the first couple innings came around to score. But Dunn and Cantrell, 3 and 2 in the Cape League in stolen bases.
Early swing by DeLoach on an off-speed pitch up around the letters, goes off of his front foot as he comes up gingerly and walks off the stinger. Zach DeLoach finished off the season on a 5-game hitting streak. A guy who, as good as he was, seems to just keep on getting better.
Yep.
Hits in 8 of his last 9 as well, and he's 6 for his last 12.
Yeah, and how about his playoff debut? 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI.
He knocked in the third run for Falmouth, which would prove to be the game-winning run, as they ended up winning 3-2, all three of the runs coming in the first 2 innings. Bourne put on a couple in the middle frames, but couldn't get any more. Here's the pitch. Misses down below the knees, and the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So at this point yesterday, when Rutkowski was at about 10 pitches, he had faced like 5 batters.
True. The first 4 hitters in the lineup yesterday all swung at the first pitch and all put it into play. Lardner is going to look back done again towards first base. Mack was successful on a pickoff move in that 14-0 onslaught against the Doors back on July 8th. He's got a pretty good pickoff move. As a lefty, you can be dangerous with him.
Yeah, it can be really tough as a base runner to know when a left-handed pitcher is going home or going to first base.
The 2-2 will come home, and Deloach swings and misses at an off-speed pitch down around the ankles. It's out number 2 on the inning.
Good pitch from Lardner. He knows how dangerous Deloach is at the plate, keeps it low, below the knees, and sort of disguises it. Out of the hand, it kind of looked like a low fastball that might tag the knees and settle in for a strike, but Deloach realized by the time that his bat head was back around his right shoulder that it was off speed, and he was completely fooled.
Trey Cruz will now be the hitter. First pitch to the righty is swung on and popped up high in the air towards the left side. Xavier Warren, the third baseman, is camped underneath it. He takes a couple steps back as it was coming down and reels it in for out number 3. That will do it for the top of the first inning. The Doors score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they strand a runner on first base. The California kid, Nick Nastrini from UCLA, will be coming up to the bump in the bottom of the first inning for the Doors. We'll be right back.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Nick Nastrini just finished up his warm-up pitches, and he is ready to get his playoff debut up and running. Nastrini, the rising sophomore at UCLA, originally from San Diego, California, has turned into a phenomenal 3-man in this rotation for the Commodores, but given his stats, you'd think he'd be an ace.
Yeah, and he gets bumped up to the 2-man for the playoffs. He gets the second start, and I really like that move from Mike Landry because then you're throwing Franco Aleman, who's been one of the best pitchers on the Cape, either in an elimination game or game 1 of the second round.
First pitch from the righty to the righty. Judd Fabian is taken downstairs for ball number 1. The defense behind Nastrini. Catching him is Matt Nelson, who got the day off yesterday, but he's getting the start behind home plate. As the 1-0 into Fabian is a fastball again that misses a little down. Third base, Steven Moretto. Shortstop, Trey Cruz. Hayden Cantrell back at second. Jackson Coots at first. Same infield we saw last night. The outfield from left to right, also the same. Maisel, Dunn, and Deloach. Troy Clonch has been moved from catcher to DH. Fastball this time right down the middle. Strike number 1 of Nastrini's outing.
Nastrini's last start of the regular season was here at Doran Park. 5 innings of work and a no decision. Gave up a home run to this man, Judd Fabian, down the left field line.
2-1. Fastball beats him. Wired it right past the swing of Fabian to even up the count.
struck out 7 against the Braves on July 28th. That was that 5-3 loss that snapped the 11-game winning streak.
Judd finished the summer with a 290 average as the 2-2 misses just a little bit upstairs. He checks his swing, no go, says the first base umpire. That first base umpire, Mickey Garcia. Behind home plate is Rich Gaetani. At second base, Jim Fonseca. And third base, Brian Troop. Full count to the leadoff man, Fabian. Nestrini's 3-2. A fly ball up and away, foul above the Bourne dugout on the third base side.
Nestrini, the word I would use is consistent. Pretty much every one of his outings between 4 and 5 innings, usually going 5 on the nose. He lets up between 1 and 2 runs and usually strikes out around 5. No ups and downs for the righty.
3-2, again, is roped towards that left field side, but well foul. Went with a couple of fastballs that Fabian was out ahead of.
He's such a good hitter.
Yeah.
Yesterday was just 1 for 4, but I think he's one of the best players in this Bourne lineup. 290 average on the summer, and he's really reading Nestrini well in just the first at-bat.
He finished the summer with hits in 7 of his last 8 ball games. The 3-2 for the third time. This time popped up again, and this time it will go up and towards us. Nope, Matt Nelson will come down with it. Looked like he was coming towards the bleachers right along the first base side, but it stayed in fair territory as Nelson could record it behind home plate, out number 1.
Yeah, that fooled me too. I looked up, had no idea where the ball was.
I was looking at you, and I saw you looking back like this. So. 1 out, regardless. Long at bat, however. 8 pitches thrown by Nestrini. He'll now get to face Cody Morissette, who yesterday was awesome. 2 for 4. Both of his hits were doubles coming in his first 2 at-bats. He swings at the first pitch, chops it towards Coots, and it beats him. Cantrell tried to barehand it right behind Jackson. He couldn't come up with it either. Jackson was charging it, let it bounce an extra time, and it weaseled its way in between his glove and his forearm, as Morissette will reach first on what will be ruled in error.
Yeah, that's an E3 for sure. Soft ground ball down the first base line on the first pitch from Morissette, and that would have been a huge out because after a long pitch count to Judd Fabian, 1 pitch, 1 out to Morissette would have been huge, but Coots kind of just eats him up. He tried to field it at the gut, but it slipped between his wickets.
Xavier Warren, the lefty from Central Michigan, will now take his first hacks of the ballgame. First pitch, down and away. Xavier led the Braves in batting average to end the season, also led them in walks, and was tied for the team lead in ribbies. Yesterday held pretty quiet. He went 0 for 2, but did walk twice and scored in the 6th. Nestrini from the stretch for the first time fires a pitch that just catches the knees on the inside part of the plate. A ball and a strike to Warren. This Bourne lineup led off by Fabian and Morissette, now Warren. Batting cleanup Jimmy Glowenke. He's followed by Brendan Rivoli and Jake McKenzie. And 7-8-9, Joshua Madole, Kyle Hess, and Robert Carmody. Nestrini's 1-1. Breaking ball, beautiful over the outside part of the plate. Got some oohs and ahs from the Falmouth side.
Yeah, really nice pitch, outside black. Warren likes to take a lot of pitches. In his first at-bat yesterday, he was down 0-2 and worked a walk.
Right now down 1-2, and I'm sure thinking along the same lines. A very patient hitter, and he's got a great eye. Here's the 1-2. Fastball down in the zone. Did he go around? Yes, he did. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Brian Troop, comes up with a fist. It's the first strikeout of the ballgame for Nestrini and the second out of the first.
Nice Falmouth contingent on hand, right behind us on the first base side. They're into the game. We saw that yesterday at the Gov. Fans were really up and into it, following the action very closely and making a quick trip up Route 28 towards the Bourne Bridge to pack Doran Park's field.
Jimmy Glowenke, a righty from Dallas Baptist, will swing at the first pitch he sees. It's a fastball lasered into left center field. It will get down for a hit. Blake Dunn cuts it off. His throw quickly into the cutoff man, Cruz, will not be in time to catch Glowenke at second, but will be good enough to hold up Morissette at third. Braves now have both runners in scoring position with 2 outs after the 2-out double.
Man, Glowenke is a doubles machine.
Yeah.
He was 8 for 20 versus Falmouth this year. He had 6 doubles on the season, but had 2 doubles in 1 game. That was game 1 of the doubleheader back at the end of the season between these two teams. Swings at the first pitch, hammers it into left center, and Dunn does a really good job getting to that ball quickly because if it split the gap and rolled up to the fence, that likely scores a run.
Brendan Rivoli will now try to plate a couple with a hit right here. The first pitch to the lefty from UVA, grounded right at Cantrell at second, goes down to a knee as he fields it, and the throw on to first in plenty of time. Nick Nastrini can breathe. He gets out of the jam, allowing no runs on one hit. It was a 2-out double, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base, both of them in scoring position. We'll go to the top of the second inning, still 0-0 from Bourne on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
To the top of the second inning we go. Daniel LaRose and David Korsanowski, pleased that you're joining us on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network for Game 2 of the Western Division Semifinal. Doors up 1-0 in the series. Game tied up at 0s, however, and Jackson Coots will try to break that as the first baseman swings at the first pitch, flares it into center field. It's shallow, and it will fall. Diving attempt made by Judd Fabian, but he couldn't squeeze it as Jackson Coots strums the banjo as he steps on first base.
And Coots again swings first pitch. He does it a lot, and it's really effective. Usually he's sort of grounding it in between the gaps on the right side of the infield. He's a pull-heavy hitter, but off the bat I knew that was trouble because Fabian was a little bit deep out in center. He had a long run to it. Really great diving attempt. It went off the heel of his glove, but just shallow enough to be out of his reach and a leadoff single.
Judd Fabian looked like he caught it on first glance when he dove for it, and that would have been 2 spectacular plays in the outfield back-to-back for Fabian. Remember, last night in inning number 2, he gunned down Blake Dunn at the plate, which could have been Falmouth's 4th run. It ended up ending the inning. First pitch to Troy Claunch, the righty DH, is taken down and away.
And I like putting Claunch in the DH spot today. He was swinging a good bat yesterday, made some good contact. Only a .226 hitter this summer with 8 RBIs, but was 1 for 4 last night.
He's also 5 for his last 9, so he's really come on as of late. Fastball right down the chute that he fouls back into the screen. Just couldn't get a solid piece of that one, or else he probably would have brought it into the outfield. Troy from Oregon State finished the summer with a lower batting average than I'm sure he would have liked or expected, especially given how his last couple of games were. .226 for him as he checks his swing on a pitch that's called a strike anyway.
Yeah, that's Lardner's curveball. He has 3 main pitches that he goes to. It's fastball, curveball, and changeup. He's been working on his slider a little bit, but doesn't use it as much.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball way high up and above the eyes of Claunch.
And I think what gets these hitters, or got them the last time they faced Mac Lardner, was he throws them all for strikes, and the difference in velocity between them is jarring.
2-2. Another fastball, again fouled away. Lardner's best outing was easily the one against the Commodores.
Yeah.
He racked up a ton of strikeouts in that outing as well.
8 Ks, that was actually his 2nd highest on the summer, but again, just allowing those 2 hits and retiring 19 in a row at one point.
2-2 still the count to Claunch. Coots off of first base. Here's the pitch. Down and away, but it swung right through by Troy. Another beautiful breaking pitch that died right around his ankles, and he comes up empty. It's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Lardner.
I think that was the changeup because the curveball's more high and looping. That one came in at the knees with a late duck at the end. And it looks like that's the same pitch he got Zach DeLoach on. It looks like it's going to get you at the knees, so you have to swing at it. Then all of a sudden, it just ducks, and there's no chance to sort of adjust mid-swing.
Lardner now up against the righty Steven Moretto. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball down around the knees that's fouled away. No balls, 1 strike to the third baseman.
I'm looking to Moretto to have a good night at the plate. He was 0 for 3 last night, but really ended the season sort of on a tear. His glove at third base makes him a no-brainer to start. But he can really get the bottom third of this order going with Nelson and Maisel behind him.
The 0-1. Just under the knees, 1-1. He did end or finish out and continue yesterday. He ended on an 0 for 14 stretch to end the season, but right before that 0 for 14 stretch, he was 3 for 6 with a couple of home runs and 4 RBIs. If he can get back to that form, that'd be huge for the Doors. He's a guy who put up 17 home runs in his first 2 seasons as he knocks one into left center field. It's dying again, and it will get down again in front of Fabian. Off the end of the bat, but it'll work. Steven Moretto now strumming the banjo with 2 bloop hits on the inning for the Commodores.
And that's what you got to do against a guy like Lardner. You're not going to kill him. You're not going to probably put it over the fence or get extra bases on him, especially in the early innings. Just got to make contact and try to put it into the outfield when you can. I think that was off speed because when it came off the bat, it looked like it was hard hit, but it kind of just died out in center. And again, a long run for Fabian. He had no chance to make that catch.
Falmouth now with more hits through an inning and a third against Mac Lardner than they had all of their previous game against him, those 7 innings Lardner threw, and he only allowed 2 hits. First pitch to Matt Nelson, the righty catcher, is taken on the inside part of the plate for a strike. That game against Bourne was their first at Doran Park. Second at Doran Park. Commodores now in their 4th matchup here in Bourne. They're 1-2 at this ballpark this summer. Doors in their road blacks as the ball misses high with those gray pants and maroon socks, the black hat with the maroon F. Bourne rocking their home whites, the Braves across the chest, blue caps with that red B with the little feathers behind. Nice little logo they got going. Here's the 1-1 to Nelson, a fastball that swung on and missed. Ball and 2 strikes to Matt.
Yeah, some family friends came up to the Cape and they were like, "Do you guys sell Bourne Braves hats in Falmouth?" I was like, no, why? And they all thought that the logo was one of the best on the Cape.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
They may have copied the name, but they definitely have a solid logo. 1-2 count to Nelson. Ended his season on a 4-game hitting streak. He shoots one into right center field. This will not get down for a hit as Fabian is underneath it. Coots is not going to tag from second, way too shallow, and that's the second out of the inning. Now it'll be Austin Maisel's turn with 2 outs and 2 runners on base. Maisel, the 9-hitter in this lineup, so the Doors have batted around after Maisel gets on or gets out, whatever it may be, which means that come the 3rd inning or in the 2nd, if he gets on base, it'll be up to that key that you mentioned in the pregame show. 2nd time through the order for Falmouth is what David said is going to be the key for them against Lardner. First pitch to the lefty, Maisel is taken at the knees on the inside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, Danny, is because Harry Rutkowski yesterday got knocked around in the 1st and 2nd inning, but then made it all the way through the 6th, allowing just 2 more hits in innings 3 through 6. Falmouth really silenced, and it allowed Bourne to get back into the game.
0-1 is fouled right back towards us.
If Falmouth can actually gain momentum the 2nd time through the order and start piling on some runs, especially because they have no runs as of right now in the 2nd, I think that that's a point where they want to knock him around a little bit, maybe get to the bullpen a little bit earlier.
At this point in yesterday's ball game, they were putting together a nice 2-out rally that played at 2 in the 2nd, but that will not be the case today. Big looping curveball gets Maisel swinging as he goes down on strikes on only 3 pitches. The Commodores get 2 runners on, but they strand him. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and those couple left on the base paths. As we will head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, 0-0 your score between the Doors and the Braves.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
All goose eggs so far through an inning and a half at Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. Leading off for the Braves in the bottom of the second will be Jake McKenzie, then Joshua Madole and Kyle Hess. Nick Nastrini worked out of a little bit of a jam in the first inning. Probably should have gotten out of it 1-2-3, but an error by Coots on a Morissette ground ball brought him to third base after Glowenke doubled with 2 outs. The very next pitch, he managed to get a ground out to end the inning. So already 3 hits for the Commodores, 1 hit for the Braves, as the bats are again alive.
Yeah, that's the first error we've seen for either team in this series.
Yesterday was such a clean game, as the first pitch curveball comes at the belt for a strike to McKenzie.
The defense yesterday was awesome.
Yeah.
Steven Moretto at third for Falmouth made a few great plays. An inning double play in the first.
0-1, another breaking ball right back towards the mound, and the glove stab by Nastrini comes up with the pearl. His throw onto first in time, a 1-3 putout for out number 1.
And Nastrini prides himself on being an athletic and mobile pitcher. A lot of times you see guys finish their windup, or finish their delivery, I should say, and not be in position to make a defensive play, but he gets that glove down quickly. We know he can get off the mound in a hurry on bunts. Saw that especially against Katuitt. That just speaks to the kind of competitor that he is.
McKenzie's a huge batter to get out. He's a guy who has torn up the Commodores. Hit a couple home runs right here the last time these two teams faced off in the regular season. Ball number 1 misses outside to Joshua Madole, the recent addition for first base. The replacement of Cade Beloso from LSU, who left on the last day of July. The 1-0 misses way high. 2 balls and no strikes.
Madole had that single in the 9th inning to keep the Braves alive against the closer, Zach Brixey. It was a fastball, and he was way late on it, but he poked it through the left side of the infield. Was left stranded at second base.
Here's the 2-0 from Nastrini. A fastball fouled away. Madole from UNC Greensboro. Again, was only activated in late July. His first game played was the 31st. But he's got a hit in every single game he's played this summer, including yesterday. Here's Nick's 2-1 from the windup. A fastball that gets the knees. Beautiful pitch from Nastrini.
That was one of his best pitches of the night. I mean, that, if you're looking at it from the pitcher's vantage point and you're picturing the strike zone as a box, that was right in that bottom left corner. At the knees, on the inside part of the plate to the lefty Madole.
2-2 now the count after Nastrini fell behind 2-0. His pitch skips in the dirt well in front of home plate. It's the second 3-2 count of the ball game.
Yeah, and the first 3-2 count was because Fabian put together a great battle. Right now, Nastrini a little bit wild. He had a curveball that missed at about the helmet, and then that fastball spiked in the dirt.
Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball again spiked in the dirt. Ball 4. Madole is going to take first base with 1 out. So Joshua Madole reaches thanks to a walk. And Kyle Hess will try to produce with the man on first. Hess was not in the starting lineup yesterday. He only saw playtime when he was brought on to pinch run in the 9th inning. He finished the summer with a .203 average. 28 strikeouts as well against him. First pitch he sees, again, misses low. As right now Nastrini can't quite find that low zone.
Yeah, this is uncharacteristic right now. He's just got to take a breath and try to regain his control.
Hess has only walked 6 times this summer compared to those 28 Ks. So not much of a walk guy. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Kyle from the University of Pittsburgh. A a Pittsburgh native as well. He'll be a rising sophomore with the Panthers, coming off of a year where he hit .254 in 40 games played. 14 walks to 48 strikeouts, so quicker than a strikeout per game played pace. Mastrini's 1-1. A fastball on the outside paint. Sometimes he looks like that, where he's absolutely hitting those zones perfectly, and other times he's spiking it well in front of home plate.
Yeah, I think he usually, looks the former. He's usually painting the corners really well. It's just in this half inning he's been a little bit herky-jerky.
Right now he's been back and forth. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Went with a changeup and Hess had no chance. 2 outs.
The changeup is Nestrini's best off speed by a mile. It comes in, and it's got a little bit more zip than you usually see on a changeup. And that's pro-level stuff. When you look at major leaguers and they have, a changeup that's in the mid to high 80s, sometimes low 90s, that's what makes the great pitchers like the Jacob deGroms and the Noah Syndergaards. And he's, he's a lot younger, but he's following that trend because his changeup right now is about 84, 85, which is a lot faster than you usually see at this level.
First pitch fastball misses below the knees to Carmody. Another Mets reference for you. Johan Santana is the first one that came to my mind because the reason he was such a Cy Young pitcher in the mid-2000s was because his changeup. Everybody said it. He had a speedy changeup that was perfect. Here's a breaking ball that comes in for a strike. That one a curveball to make it 1-1 to the catcher. Carmody from the University of Hartford, another late addition for Bourne. His first game played was on July 17th. Got the day off last night. The 1-1 just misses below the knees.
That's a good take on that changeup. It gets hitters swinging a lot of the time, but Carmody takes it to make the count 2-1.
Carmody 2 for 17 on his summer. Mastrini's 2-1. A fastball grounded towards third. Moretto is there. He's going to go the short way towards second for a 5-4 force out to retire the side. Mastrini allows no runs on no hits, no errors, and strands a runner on base. The only runner to reach was with a walk. We'll go to the top of the third inning, and Hayden Cantrell, the leadoff man, set to start things up for the Doors. We'll be right back.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Welcome back to Doran Park in Bourne. 0-0 the score between the Commodores and the Braves. At this point yesterday, it was 3-0 Doors. Ended up being a 3-2 win for Falmouth, and it didn't even go down as the best game played last night, despite everything being so intense, so close, and so well played.
We talked about it a little bit in the pregame show. Last night was freaking awesome for the Cape League playoffs. Every single game was decided by one run. You had a 1 seed in the Commodores win. You had a 2 seed in the Wareham Gatemen win. You had a 3 seed Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox win. Then you had a 4 seed the Harwich Mariners win. Harwich Mariners beat the Chatham Anglers with a combined no-hitter, just the second in modern Cape League history.
Cantrell swings at the first pitch. He booms it out to deep left center field. Fabian is running back, and this ball is up and over the wall. A 2-bagger. Double for Hayden Cantrell. It looked like it was a home run. He was halfway towards third base, but it bounced just a couple inches in front of the fence and up and over. But he'll take it. Leadoff double for Cantrell in the third.
Ryan Eiley's going to jog out to get the shin strap, and Cantrell's going to jog back to second. These are so tough to tell. We talked about it a little bit before at Doran Park, but it's got that clear chain link fence. So we see the ball land, but we don't know if it's before or after the fence. And immediately the left fielder, McKenzie, and the center fielder, Fabian, put up their arms as it one-hopped over the wall. But Cantrell again swinging early, and second time through the orders off to a good start.
That was the key for this ball game. We'll see if Blake Dunn can follow it up with a hit of his own. The first pitch is an off speed that swung on and missed by Dunn. He already singled his first time up.
But let's talk about the rest of the games, too. So Yarmouth Dennis was up 7-1 on Orleans. Firebirds put up 5 in the bottom of the ninth, but then fall just short 7-6.
They had the bases loaded.
Unbelievable.
And couldn't get it home. Here's the 0-1. A fastball chopped towards the right side. This will advance Cantrell. First baseman Madole with a flip onto first, and Dunn just barely is beaten out by Lardner. Mack took a little while getting towards the bag, and Blake Dunn noticed it. He tried to beat it out for an infield single, but instead he's an out.
Man, that was such a close play. Bang, bang. And Blake Dunn heads back to the dugout frustrated. He almost legged out an infield single. But as you said, gets the job done, moves the leading run to just 90 feet away, and a sac fly would score it.
Zach DeLoach will try to be the man to score the run. He had an RBI yesterday on one of his 2 hits. An RBI machine for Falmouth as he watches a curveball miss high. But we saw Harwich with a combined no-hitter, which is just unheard of.
Yeah.
And then we saw Wareham win on a walk-off against Katuitt.
So that was a crazy game. The Gatemen were up 6-0.
6-0.
Then they trailed 7-6. They tied it up at 7 and then won 8-7 in the bottom of the 10th.
Fastball fouled back.
And Trey Lipscomb, a recent addition from Tennessee, legged out an infield single to score the game-winning run with 2 outs. That was an awesome game, but I think taking the cake was Chatham Harwich. What an awesome game out at Veterans Field.
I was so happy that the Doors Bourne game was the first one to finish because I went on to
Right.
YouTube
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
bouncing back between those games.
I had the quad box up. I was channeling my NFL self when I'm watching 4 games at one time.
1-1 to DeLoach, misses low. I saw the Wareham walk-off, and I had just tuned out of the Orleans game because at the time it was 5-1 YD, and I tuned out of the Orleans game in the 8th. Watched the Wareham walk-off. It was about 35 minutes because it took an extra inning.
Yeah.
And then I tuned back. I go back to the homepage, and I'm like, wait, Orleans is still playing?
Right.
And I tune it. It's 7-4.
Unreal.
Such a long couple of innings. 2-1. Breaking ball clubbed into right field. This one will get down for a base hit. Hayden Cantrell was hanging up at third for the potential of a sacrifice fly, but it won't matter. He'll jog home with the game's first run, and Zach DeLoach continues to mash another RBI single for the team leader in average.
So now 5 hits for the Doors, and really only one of them hard hit. That was another sort of shallow fly ball down the right field line. A little bit harder than we saw Coots and Moretto's singles, but again, dying in front of Rivoli out in right. He had no chance to get there to make the play. Cantrell scores the first run. And Falmouth looking good right now. DeLoach's second RBI of the playoffs.
Falmouth a run on 5 hits. They've gotten to Lardner, you bet, as a pitch comes outside to Trey Cruz. He popped out to third his first time up to end the first inning. Trey a day ago went 1 for 4, singled in his first AB. The switch hitter batting righty against the lefty Lardner will watch another fastball, this time paint the knees. The Houston native who plays his ball with the Rice Owls finished the season at a 307 clip. Swings and misses on a beautiful off-speed pitch. He was way out ahead of that one.
Right now, Lardner looking good ever since that DeLoach single. Keeping it low right around the knees.
Lardner with that glove at his belt now comes home with the 1-2. It's tipped off of the glove, and down goes the catcher Carmody. Looked like he wore that one on the wrist of his throwing hand.
Yeah, that's not
It's a stinger.
Not an easy one to shake off. Right on the forearm, not a lot of muscle there. And now he's just, shaking his arm out to try to get the sting out of that one.
Maybe a time for DeLoach to try to run. He's 8 for 9 on stolen bases on the summer.
I like that move. That's smart.
The Doors have run all over a couple of teams. Bourne doesn't seem like they try to test all too much.
No, not at all.
Play ball once again called by Gaetani. Lardner is going to wait with the 1-2 as he fires back towards first, thinking the same thing we were.
And I think he's given his catcher a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
He's saying, all right, I know that one hurt. I got you.
Cruz just barely made contact on that pitch as it fouled away off the catcher. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Solid frame by Carmody to sell it. It's a backwards K against Cruz.
That was a really close pitch, maybe a little low, maybe a little bit outside, but I think that's one that's too close to take. Cruz left the bat on his shoulder, and Carmody did a really, as you said, shifty move trying to frame that. If you're bringing the glove back in towards the strike zone, you can kind of catch the ball and bring it back in so that it's on the outside corner. That's exactly what Carmody did.
First pitch to Coots. He lays off. It's a ball down below the knees. Jackson got things started in the second inning for the Doors when he led off with a single. Ended up getting stranded at second base. 1 ball, no strikes to the Rhode Island Ram, originally from Maine. Fastball that's lifted in the air in shallow left field. This is going to be a long run, and a diving catch is made by Jake McKenzie. Had to come in with a backhanded slide, and he somehow came away with it on a ball that was dying fast. The Doors do strike first in the top of the third inning. They score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and strand a runner on base as we go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 in favor of Falmouth.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Doors with a 1-0 lead on the Braves as we enter the bottom of inning number 3. Bourne will have the top of their lineup set to go against Nick Nastrini. So same exact formula that Falmouth was able to have to start the third inning. It was the top of their lineup that got things going. Second time through the order, Bourne looking for the same type of magic.
Definitely. Only 1 hit through the first 9 for Bourne. They had 3 base runners. Morissette reached on an error. Glowenke doubled, and Madole walked. So Nastrini looking pretty good in innings 1 and 2.
Here's the first pitch to the righty from Florida. It's a breaking ball on the outside corner. Nastrini starting to look a lot sharper with some of those pitches, really hitting his spots as he throws more of them. That was his 32nd pitch of the night. Here's number 33, a fastball off the plate. Judd Fabian was Bourne's leader in a couple of categories. 1-1 again skips, 2-1. He led the team in home runs for the summer with 6. Had 1 against the Commodores right here the last time these two teams played in the regular season. Also led the team in strikeouts at 36. Fouls this pitch back behind the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And you know what? I think it might be that changeup that's starting to skip in the dirt, because his fastball has been pretty good right on the lower part of the strike zone, but I think he's just gripping that changeup a little bit too long. The release point isn't quite where he needs it to be.
He winds and fires the 2-2. It's a curveball, and it's a beauty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Fabian had no shot, as that's the first out of the inning, and Nastrini's 3rd strikeout of the ballgame.
Yeah, great pitch. Fabian has to defend with 2 strikes. And it's a juicy-looking curveball, kind of a tight drop. We see Lardner with the high looping curveball, and this one more on a line, if you will.
Here's Cody Morissette, the lefty from Boston College, as he watches a pitch down the middle for strike 1. Cody, it seems like in big games, is a big-time player.
Oh, yeah.
As they always say, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Well, Cody Morissette is definitely that guy. As yesterday, he had a couple of doubles and a 2-for-4 outing. Lines a fastball foul towards the opposite field to make it 0-2. You got to remember, in the ACC tournament back in May, he won first-team All-ACC tournament team however that one is said, because he was just red hot for BC. He was the one who really carried them with a couple home runs towards those 3 games when everybody thought that they would be done by day 1.
Right.
Here's the 0-2. Fastball that swung on and missed, strike 3. Might have been that changeup, little bottoming out action. Tough to tell with the velocity. Regardless, it's back-to-back Ks to start off the 3rd.
And Morris set right now silenced to start game 2. He was 2 for 4 yesterday.
At bat, number 27 from Central Michigan.
With 2 doubles and a stolen base, but he reaches on a error in the 1st and then strikes out on 3 pitches here in the 3rd. A 1-2-3 inning would be huge for Nastrini here.
Yeah, this is a very potent top of the lineup for Bourne, one of the best on the Cape. And he's already gotten the first 2 on strikes. Now he throws a great hammer first pitch to Warren for strike 1.
He's looking good right now.
Xavier struck out swinging back in the 1st inning. Here's the 0-1 from Nick. Another breaking ball. Just misses a little low. Xavier Warren, another guy who tore it up in the postseason. He was for Central Michigan, was first-team All-MAC and made the MAC All-Tournament team. Was red hot in the regional as well down in Starkville, Mississippi. 1-1, fastball grounded towards Coots. Takes a funky hop, but he fields it cleanly up around his letters, and he steps on the bag himself. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Nick Nastrini. The first 1-2-3 inning worked by either pitcher. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning. Still 1-0 in favor of the Doors on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back to Bourne. Daniel LaRose joined alongside David Korzenowski. And if you're a hockey fan, if you know of hockey, even in any sense of the word, in any sense of the sport, you've heard of playoff beards. But how about playoff mustaches? Here's the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio, with more.
Thanks, Danny, and we have seen it all this season with the shenanigans and funny things this team has done, but they've added something else for good playoff mojo. They have shaved their beards and left nothing but mustaches. I was talking to Blake Dunn, who certainly looks different without his beard. He told me it was originally Austin Mazel's idea. He sent a group Snapchat before the first night of playoffs, and everyone was on board after that. Some even dyed them when they got to the field yesterday, and they are proudly keeping them for as long as this playoff run goes.
Thank you, Katie, and I freaking love that. As a diehard hockey fan myself, it was my team, the New York Islanders, who in the late 70s introduced the hockey world to playoff beards. Now every hockey team does it. They all rock big beards, and the deeper you go, the longer they get. And the Doors now with mustaches, so a little bit of their own twist on it. Here's the first pitch to Troy Claunch, who's rocking a black mustache himself. Ball 1. Isn't that so cool?
Oh, I love it. The one question I have, where did they get this dye? Where is just black dye rolling around?
1-0 misses outside. Well, you know what? So they're college kids.
Yeah.
And in junior hockey, obviously they want to follow up the big guys.
Right.
And they want to grow beards themselves. But junior hockey is typically, 15, 16, 17-year-olds who don't have, the
Facial hair.
testosterone to grow it. Ball 3 misses outside. So they all often dye their hair bright blonde. In junior
they
hockey,
bleach the hairs,
in the OHL, CHL, Saskatchewan Hockey League. But the Doors a little bit older, and they can grow the facial hair. Strike number 1 hits the outside corner. Even a couple freshmen rocking it.
Yeah. Talked to Blake Dunn's mom today, and she was laughing hysterically at this whole playoff beard thing.
3-1 to Claunch is launched into deep right field. Fabian is back, and he will track it down just in front of the warning track. Troy Claunch looking for a dinger, but he comes up just short.
Unreal range. That one was basically hit into right field. And Rivoli, who was playing a lot closer to the ball, had to backtrack and to his right. Fabian, full sprint from the center field position to his left. I'd say 30 yards. And it wasn't like that one hung up in the air that much. I mean, that was basically at the wall. Unreal.
Here's the first pitch to Steven Moretto, a big changeup that he swings right through. Steven reached his first time up with a bloop single. Mike Murray, the Commodores' former bat boy, he's kind of the head grounds crew, I'm going to call him. Here's a foul ball back up into the screen, 0-2 to Moretto. He came over and he said to us, because Max, our producer and web reporter, he's rocking a very thin mustache. Sorry to call you out, Max. And Mike told me, he's like, you got to shave your beard. I like to rock the 5 o'clock shadow consistently. He's like, you got to shave that. You got to have a mustache. I don't know. I'm 50-50.
I'll do it. I shave about once every 4 days, and the mustache comes in a little bit lighter than the rest of my facial hair. I actually shaved yesterday morning at like 6 a.m. before I went to work. But we'll see. If this run goes long enough, I could get a little something going.
0-2 misses in the dirt to Moretto. Here's the 1-2 from Lardner. Another breaking ball that misses down and away. That's what I'm worried about, is that I grow a pretty even shadow, but I'm worried about the hair above the lip not being that full.
Right. It's funny because the man at the plate yesterday, Moretto.
2-2, again, misses low. He's worked the count from 0-2 all the way full.
He had a thin mustache yesterday. He actually shaved it. He did. I saw him today. He was clean shaven. I said, "Did you shave?" And he just laughed and walked away.
Here's the payoff pitch. It's fouled up and away behind us. Some guys can't do it. You know, it depends. Matt Nelson, he didn't have one either. And Troy Claunch kind of let the cat out of the bag. He blamed Matt's girlfriend for it. He said Matt's girlfriend didn't like it.
Come on.
I don't know if I buy it. I think Troy was just trying to throw him under the bus and make fun of him. But Matt was also clean shaven. Zach Brixey, though, looks like Raleigh Fingers. 3-2, swung on and missed. Beautiful breaking pitch, and Moretto went down fishing for it. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth.
Moretto really frustrated with himself there. Again, just a really nice pitch from Lardner. He keeps it low with 2 strikes. Better than maybe any other pitcher the Commodores have seen this summer. Got tagged a little bit in the 3rd inning, but against this bottom half in the 4th, he is working quickly.
Here comes the clean-shaven Matthew Nelson, who flew out to center field his last time up. The first pitch to the catcher, grounded towards third, takes a funky hop on Xavier Warren and hits him up around the collarbone, rolls into no man's land into shallow left field. Nelson's going to take first base. We'll see how that one is scored, but pretty much an impossible ground ball for Warren, as when it hit the lip, it dove another 10 feet in the air.
It's rightfully ruled a hit. They immediately flashed on the scoreboard that was a hit. I mean, that was a mean bounce. And it wasn't like a slow roller. It was about a 2-hopper over towards third base. And it was hard hit off the bat as is. It would have been a tough play for Xavier Warren to make, even if it didn't come up and nearly hit him in the jaw.
We've seen that a ton at Doran Park. A lot of bad bounces on this infield. Line drive off the bat of Maisel, and that one will hook just foul. Was fouled by about a foot or two, but on first glance looked like it was triple territory.
Yeah, Maisel struck out on 3 pitches in the second at-bat, so he comes up with sort of a chip on his shoulder. He's a guy who, I mean, no baseball player likes to strike out, but he really doesn't like to strike out. That's basically every conversation I've had with him about his summer. He's like, you know, I'm doing well, I'm not striking out. Or he's frustrated at his K numbers.
The 0-1 misses below the knees. Definitely has been striking out a lot less than he did last summer. I know we talked about it a lot yesterday, but last summer he talked to us. He was like, I was never comfortable because I was always worried about going home. This year came in, just kind of relaxed, did my thing, and it paid off. He's now a starter in both playoff games. Swings at the high fastball, and he taps it back towards the pitcher, Lardner, who makes the underhand flip to first for the final out of the 4th inning. The Doors come up empty on 1 hit. It came with 2 outs, no errors against Bourne, and 1 runner left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning, still 1-0 in favor of Falmouth.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
To the home fourth we go in Bourne. The Falmouth Commodores lead the hometown Braves 1-0. They plated that one run back in the third inning off of a Zach DeLoach one-out single. And now it's back up to Nick Nastrini on the hill to keep Bourne at bay. He'll have to face Glowenke, Rivoli, and McKenzie. 4, 5, and 6 in this lineup. 3 guys with the most power on the team.
Yeah, you look at the third and you think, okay, he's going up against 1, 2, 3. This is going to be his toughest inning. This is right up there with it,
right,
because Glowenke is awesome. I mean, 296 average on the summer. He had a double yesterday and a double with 2 outs in the first tonight. Rivoli after him, he's kind of just waiting to burst onto the spot. 0 for 5 to start the playoffs, but he's got a ton of power and was one of the best second-half players for the Bourne Braves all summer.
First pitch is a breaking ball in the outside corner. Been a lot of first pitch strikes from Nastrini in these past couple of innings. No balls, 1 strike to Glowenke. He doubled his first time up with 2 outs. Nick's 0-1. Fastball swung on and missed. That one was nowhere near the strike zone, but Glowenke tried to go down and golf it.
Yeah, he gave Nastrini a gift there, and Glowenke knows it. He's down 0-2 now. Nastrini's pitch count looking really pretty at this moment. 30 strikes, 14 balls for 44 total pitches.
The 0-2. Fastball too far inside. Glowenke is a guy who pretty much never strikes out.
Yeah.
Finished with 14 strikeouts on the summer in the regular season, and he struck out in his final at-bat yesterday in the 8th. That was the masterful 8th inning worked by Tyler Ross against 2, 3, and 4 when he worked them in order. Here's the 1-2. Big breaking ball on the outside corner, and strike 3 called. Went with a backdoor curve, and he placed it right at the belt. Glowenke knew it. He's down for the first out of the 4th.
Yeah, usually when batters stay in the box after a punch-out on strike 3 looking, that means that they disagreed with the call. That was just Glowenke's frustration at himself. He just sat there an extra second and kind of threw the bat head down into the dirt because he knew that Nastrini just beat him in that at-bat, and Glowenke also helped Nastrini beat him.
First pitch from Nastrini to the lefty Rivoli at the letters for strike 1. David, I want to talk a little bit more about this Bourne lineup being so solid because people might be fooled. You know, a team that only went 18, 24, and 2 would have missed the playoffs in the East because Brewster had a better record and was only 1 point better than the 2018 Bourne Braves as another curveball hits the zone for strike 2. So you would think that, okay, they're on the same path as a team that missed the playoffs last year, but people sleep that they had a Cape record, not record all time, but Cape League high this year. 5 guys go to Team USA. Here's a club over towards short. Very low pitch that's lined back towards the shortstop Cruz. A line out to the shortstop for out number 2.
Yeah, I think that the lineup before Team USA was one of the best on the Cape. They lose guys to Team USA, but then as you mentioned, I think what has people fooled is the record. The Bourne Braves this summer finished at 18, 24, and 2. But I don't think that's any knock on their offense as the first pitch sails above the eyes because they had the 3rd best batting average on the Cape. They had the most doubles. And this, top half of the lineup can go up against any other in the Cape League.
I completely agree. We're not singing them praises for no reason. When this team puts up runs, and they've done it against the Commodores, when they put up runs, they don't stop. They put up a 10 spot on the doors the first time these two teams played in June and then won 14-0 back in July. Second pitch to McKenzie. Does he go around on the breaking ball? No, he doesn't. It's now 2-0 to the left fielder.
Now, to get to why they struggled, it's because they don't have depth at pitching.
Yep.
They have Rutkowski and Lardner, who are a great 1-2, but 3, 4, and 5 aren't the best. Ball missed inside. And that's the reason that they lost games, because when they were in the stretch in July and they had to get a plethora of arms going, that's when they ran into trouble. But in a 3-game series, you have that 1 and 2 pitcher.
Right.
They're going to be competitive.
3-0.
And they have been.
3-0 is a fastball inside corner. I'm thinking if this does go to a Game 3, Nick Domkowski, who's got a sub-3 ERA, would be the starter for Bourne. 3-1, flown out towards right field. DeLoach ranging over towards his right end a little bit, and he'll make the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning work by Nick Nastrini. He has now retired 8 batters in a row We'll go to the top of the 5th inning. The Falmouth Commodores leading the Bourne Braves 1-0 on the Commodores Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Welcome back to Bourne. 5th inning about to get underway. The Commodores still leading the Braves 1-0, and they'll have the top of the lineup, the guys who got it going for that one run back in the 3rd inning, leading off in this 5th inning. Danny LaRose, David Korzenowski, pleased that you're joining us on this Saturday night. Beautiful evening, beautiful couple of days on the Cape for the start of the playoffs, as we only have 7 days left if this entire season does go the distance. If there's a Game 3 of the championship series played, it would be 7 days from now on August 10th, so time is flying by. It's been a great summer, David.
It has, and to go back to your initial point about the weather and the beautiful couple days, to quote LeBron James, it's about damn time, because we had so much rain in June and July that a week in August during the playoffs is not too much to ask for.
Strike number 1 over the outside part of the plate is a breaking ball. Hayden Cantrell, 1 for 2, had a double and scored his last time up. Now watches a pitch bounce on home plate and up and away, 1-1.
All right, so second time through the order, gets 1 run for the Commodores on 3 hits. Maybe not the outpouring that they wanted, but starting to chip away at Lardner, who's at 60 pitches.
Nick Destrini below 60 pitches through his 4 innings worked. Now ball 2 misses a little bit low. I think the only reason Lardner hasn't gotten to, a higher pitch count is because he's peppering the zone with first pitch strikes.
Yeah.
And that's what's been keeping him in the ball game. 2-1. Misses high, and just like that, he falls behind 3 balls and 1 strike, a very rare occurrence.
Yeah, only 3 walks on the summer to 31 strikeouts.
He has not walked anybody in this ball game. The pitch. Fastball that's lined into left field for a base hit. It's not a walk, but it's another hit for Hayden Cantrell, and he improves to 2 for 3.
And I think Lardner thought that Cantrell was going to take there.
Right.
Because that was kind of a get-me-over pitch for strike 2. Cantrell is seeing the ball extremely well right now. He's putting together some awesome swings. Now 2 for 3 with a long fly out to start the game out in left.
This entire team is seeing the ball so well.
Yeah.
Hayden Cantrell, Blake Dunn, Zach DeLoach, 1, 2, 3 in the order, all with hits in Game 1 and all with hits in Game 2. First pitch to Dunn, taken below the knees. He's 1 for 2. It was a single his first time up. He was stranded at first, and a ground ball back to first for a putout in the 3rd. 1 ball, no strikes to the Bronco from Western Michigan. Lardner's going to pick off towards first. Cantrell was running on the pitch. The throw down to second on the relay from Madole is in time. And we've seen it once before. We see it again. A beautiful pickoff move by Lardner gets the base runner.
And he did the same thing the last time he was on the bump against Cantrell. That was the runner that he picked off in that game for the Commodores. And the Braves back on July 8th. Cantrell tried to push it, get over to second base with nobody out.
So their leadoff base runner already erased. Here's a ground ball towards short, fielded on a backhand by Glowenke in the hole. His throw onto first is in time to catch the speedy Dunn. It only goes down as a 6-3 putout, but it was a lot more impressive than it seems.
Yeah, and it took a funky hop. It wasn't, an insane hop that jumped up on Warren back in the 4th inning, but that one had a little bit of extra bounce as it skipped in the infield, and Glowenke moves his backhand up, fields it, and then the throw in the hole as his body was moving towards the 3rd baseline was impressive.
First pitch to Zach DeLoach is a breaking ball in the inside corner for a strike. So back to the Cantrell pickoff. Is that a pickoff or a caught stealing? Because he was 19 for 20 on the summer.
That's a pickoff.
That's a pickoff,
yeah.
Okay. 0-1 grounded foul over near the Falmouth dugout.
Caught stealing has to come from the catcher. I'm 95% sure.
Okay, that's one that I'm not 100% sure on. And if that was the case, that would mean that the only times he's ever been caught on the base paths were because of Lardner. 0-2 now, the count to Deloach, the 3-hitter who's 1 for 2. An RBI single his last time at the plate. The Texas A&M Aggie, batting title champion. Hits another ground ball, another laser over towards the Falmouth dugout. Deloach has been a mainstay at the 3-hole and in right field for the Commodores. And he's been hitting so consistently all summer long. Seems like he's always putting together some type of hitting streak. He's had 2 7-game hitting streaks this summer. Here's a deep drive into right field. That one is just foul. Another one where if it stayed fair was in double or triple territory.
He and Maisel just so close. Lardner kind of getting teed up. 7 hits and a couple near extra baggers.
Zach leads the team in doubles with 8, and he nearly had his 9th of the entire summer. Both his hits last night were singles. Lardner from the windup kicks and fires the 0-2. It's a fastball that's popped up on the left side in foul territory. The catcher Carmody ranging back, and he will make the grab as he crashes in towards the backstop. Beautiful catch made by the catcher Carmody as the Doors go down in order. Although they did get a hit, leadoff single by Hayden Cantrell was erased on a pickoff. Dunn went down to the ground out, and Deloach pops out to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Nastrini back out there with the Doors leading by 1.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' best restaurant for takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Welcome back to Bourne. Still 1-0 in favor of the Doors. It was 1 run in the 3rd inning and a couple of perfect innings worked by Nick Nastrini. He's retired 8 in a row entering this bottom of the 5th inning. And in this inning, he'll have to face the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9 for Bourne.
Couple observations. 1, the Doors have hits in every single inning. That's a good sign as they're getting runners on base against Lardner, but only capitalizing in the 3rd because of that leadoff double. That was huge. And second observation, nobody warming in the Bourne bullpen still, as Lardner's now up to about 70 pitches.
First pitch from Nastrini to Joshua Madole is taken upstairs for ball 1. Well, yesterday they were able to ride Rutkowski for 7, so they've got plenty of fresh arms in that pen. Nastrini from the windup against the lefty Madole, who walked in his lone AB. Rocks and fires a fastball that's fouled away. Josh last night went 1 for 4. He was 0 for 3 to start off the ball game, then had that single in the 9th inning to keep Bourne alive. Represented the tying run and was stranded on second base. Crazy competitive game last night between the Doors and the Braves. Here's a line drive into center field, but Blake Dunn is there. A scorcher off the bat, but an F8 on your scorecard anyway.
And that's probably next to the Jimmy Glowacki double, the hardest hit ball we've seen. Madole, late addition to the Cape, swinging a good stick, having a good eye. He worked that walk in the 2nd. At that 7 spot, even though he's 0 for 1, he's had a good night.
Kyle Hess is going to be the hitter. He struck out swinging in his lone at bat. Hess now 1 for his last 9 and has 5 strikeouts in his last 5 games. Starts off this AB swinging and missing at a breaking ball.
Take care of business here if you're Nastrini, because then you could possibly go out for the 6th, retire the top of the order one more time.
0-1 from Nastrini. Fastball off the plate. 1-1. Would have to assume that ready in the doors bullpen, you'd have guys like Logan Hoffman warming. Caleb Worcester might be able to go. Last night they only used Weatherly, Ross, and Brixey. 1-1, another beautiful breaking ball that's cut on and missed. All 3 of these pitches have been out of the zone, but 2 of them have been swinging strikes.
Yeah, and both bullpens quiet, as they should be. Lardner, despite giving up the 7 hits, has limited damage with runners on base, and Nastrini has been awesome.
Here's the 1-2. Another breaking ball. It's tapped towards the first base side. Coots can't make the play. Cantrell does the throw onto first, just in the nick of time. Nick Nastrini showing off the athleticism. He got over there just barely, and the throw from Cantrell was close enough to get him.
Nastrini helps himself out, and he bails out Jackson Coots, because that's Hayden Cantrell's ball. If you're the first baseman, you got to stay on the bag there, because all of a sudden, if Nastrini's not over there, there's nobody covering first base. Pitcher helps himself out, gets off the mound in a hurry, sticks out that right foot in time. Awesome play by Nastrini.
2 up, 2 down in the 5th. 10 straight retired by Nick, as another changeup is swung on and missed in the dirt by Carmody. He is looking as good as he has all summer. Already a guy who entered the ballgame with a sub-3 ERA. That was his 60th pitch. Here's 61. Another breaking ball. Did he go? Yes, he did. Mickey Garcia saying he went around. Quickly 0-2. Carmody now going to take his time. He was a ground ball victim, ended in a fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning. That's his lone at-bat of the ball game. Now he's going to call for time again and try to break up the cadence that Nastrini is in. Nick with that glove in front of his face, gets the sign from Nelson, lifts the glove over his neck and fires the 0-2. Just misses a little bit low. It was another change. Can make it 11 in a row and 3 straight 1-2-3 innings if he gets Carmody right here. The 1-2. Breaking ball cut on and missed, strike 3. Nick Nastrini drops the hammer, and he retires the Braves in order yet again. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. The Commodores have Cruz, Coots, and Claunch set to go. We'll be right back.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Welcome back to Bourne, and we know that this Commodores team really loves each other. They get along so well. They like this team sometimes a little bit more than their own team from back at school sometimes. And the man due up 4th in this inning, Steven Moretto, maybe more so than everybody else. And with a little more on that, we'll welcome back in our own Katie Florio. Katie.
Thanks, Danny. And we've discussed all season long how much fun this team is having, and here is proof of just that. Steven Moretto's college team, Cal State Sacramento, is playing in an international tournament in Canada starting August 13th. To get home and prepared for that, Steven was originally supposed to leave Falmouth August 4th. So not only did Steven call his coach and ask for an extension, he asked to have until the 11th because he wants to be playing in the championship here August 10th. Steven said he knows he said this a lot, but this summer truly is one of the most fun summers he has ever had playing baseball, and he wants to embrace it until the very end. So if that's not commitment, I don't know what is, and that's certainly an accurate representation of how special this entire Falmouth program is.
Thank you, Katie. Steven Moretto really showing that he is a Dor at heart. Telling his coach, I got to stick around another week. I can't be there for the first practice, which was yesterday. And then realized that he told his coach a little too early because they could potentially be playing August 10th. Here's a scorcher off the bat of Cruz, but it goes foul. No balls and 1 strike to the shortstop. So then he recalled his coach, called him right back up after they hung up the phone, and he said, it's going to have to be the 11th. I might be playing on the 10th. I cannot miss a potential Game 3 of the championship series. And his coach was like, the 11th at the latest,
right.
And I swear if you call me one more time. That last part was my assumption of what was said. 0-1. Just catches the knees. Cruz doesn't like that one either.
It's funny you say that because I can hear Steven making that phone call, right? He's such a nice guy. Coach, come on, please.
So
Coach.
energetic.
Yeah, exactly, right.
It's still Lardner on the bump for Bourne. Fires an 0-2 breaking ball that's bounced towards the hole on the third base side and just gets past the man at the hot corner, Xavier Warren. Base hit off the bat of Trey Cruz, his first of the ball game and his second of the series.
There you go. Cruz didn't like that low strike call for strike number 2, but he erases it from his memory, has a defensive swing in front of the fastball, and it's through the 5-6 gap. Knew it was going to be trouble for Warren off the bat because that was really tough for him to get to on the forehand. It was so hard hit. This is the fourth time now that the leadoff man has gotten aboard for Falmouth.
Here's a ground ball into the hole between second and first. Jackson Coots wastes no time continuing the onslaught of hits. He now has his second single in 3 tries.
All right, first 2 runners on, back-to-back singles on just a few pitches. This is when you got to capitalize as Falmouth. You've seen this guy 3 times now, already 9 hits for the Doors, and Harvey Shapiro's thinking the same thing as he comes out for a visit.
It is Harvey Shapiro and not the pitching coach, surprisingly enough, Ace Adams. You would assume it'd be Adams. Maybe they try to preserve the pitcher Lardner a couple more innings, but it looks like Shapiro is going to come on in, and he's going to take the ball. They're going for a lefty to face Troy Claunch. We'll keep it right here for this pitching change. That will do it for Mac Lardner's outing. It was pretty brilliant despite the 9-hit output for the Doors, as he was only able to limit the damage to 1 run and stranded 5 Commodores on the base paths to end innings, including Hayden Cantrell, who he picked off, so it could have been 6.
Yeah, and Lardner getting tagged for those 2 base knocks to start off the 6th. I was saying that that's when the Doors could capitalize because they've seen him so much, and Harvey Shapiro thinks the exact same way. They're going to go to Jared Poland. This is the man who designated hit for the Bourne Braves last night, and he's a pretty good pitcher as well.
Yeah, it's a righty in Poland. You mentioned he was the DH last night, went 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch, but has arguably been a little bit better on the mound.
Yeah, 3.37 ERA in 8 appearances, 10 2/3 innings of work on the summer with 18 strikeouts and 4 walks. He pitched against Falmouth in that 5-3 win, which snapped the 11-game winning streak, and he was awesome. 2 innings of work, gave up just 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 3 Ks.
And I think that K count is why you go to him right here. You mentioned 18 strikeouts and 10 2/3 innings of work.
Yeah.
He's got 3 righties on the docket between Claunch, Moretto, and Nelson, and a couple of big strikeout guys. Moretto's been struggling with strikeouts throughout the summer. Matt Nelson struggled a lot with strikeouts early on. He's limited those significantly since, but against a guy like Poland, who's a big strikeout pitcher, they're going to try to put those guys back down under. So Jared Poland warming up here at Doran Park, a ballpark that has been home to the Braves for only a couple of years. We're not sure exactly how many, but they have moved around quite a bit.
Yeah, the Braves have quite an interesting history in the Cape League. I was doing some digging. If you guys haven't followed Codball, it's just at Codball on Twitter. Awesome stuff. This is run by a couple of guys, and one of them I got in contact with, and I asked him, some questions about the league history, awesome games that he's seen, players that have stood out to him. And he gave me some interesting information on the Braves. They were one of the 8 original teams, or a team in Bourne, I should say, was one of the 8 original teams back in the 60s.
Great name.
Yeah, the Bourne Canal Men.
Fantastic.
So when you come to the Cape, you got to go across the Cape Cod Canal. You can go either on the Bourne Bridge or the Sagamore Bridge. And Bourne's high school's mascot is the Canal Men. So same motto for Bourne, but then they were disbanded, rejoined the league as the Braves in '88, and they moved all around. They played at Mass Maritime. How about this? They played at a field called Cody School Field. They would have to pause the games for 30 minutes because of sun delays. The sun would set right over the trees in center field and blind the hitters. And then finally, they moved to Doran Park.
So you've heard of fog delays in Chatham.
Right.
Sun delays might be even more agonizing. First pitch to Troy Claunch from Jared Poland will have to wait as he lifts his leg and looks back Trey Cruz at second base, who was dancing around. Cruz on second, Coots on first. The Doors are threatening with nobody out in the top of the 6th. Only 1 run for Falmouth so far, and they're itching for more. Poland lifts and fires from the stretch. Klunch shows bunt. He pulls it back. Watches a pitch that catches the outside chunk of the plate for strike one. Troy 0 for 2, struck out swinging and flew out to center on an absolute rocket that was tracked down somehow by Judd Fabian, who is proving to be one of the surest center fielders in the game. Klunch showing bunt again. He gets it down up the first base line, and it trickles just foul. Looked like a beauty, but it had a little bit too much spin towards the right side, and he's now down 0-2. The bunt play assuredly off.
Yeah, now you can't bunt. And I was thinking you might want to try to bunt it down the third base line. And I know it's tougher for a righty hitter, but it's then a tough decision for Warren. Does he charge at the bunt, or does he stay at third and try to cover the bag with Trey Cruz probably moving over?
No balls, 2 strikes to Klunch. A guy who was red hot to finish off his summer. Mentioned 5 for 9, had a couple RBIs in his final 2 games of the summer as well. Poland's 0-2. Breaking ball that swung on and missed for strike 3. Only takes 3 pitches thanks to a foul ball on a bunt, and Klunch goes down for the second time in this ball game.
Yeah, so looking more at that strikeout total for Poland. He struck out over half of the batters that he faced.
Oof.
Or I should say, over half of the outs that he got were on Ks.
And that's exactly what Bourne needs, because, I mean, obviously a double play would be ideal, but you can't guarantee it. Strikeout is a little bit more in your own hands. Fastball misses just below the knees to Moretto. He's 1 for 2. Had a bloop single in his first at-bat, struck out swinging in his second one. The Doors so far have been able to get up every other inning pretty consistently. This part of the lineup, second, fourth, and sixth. The 1-0 to the righty Steven is taken up around the letters. 2-0, friendly hitters count.
Definitely. Poland, a two-way player at Louisville as well, had a 4.12 ERA with the Cardinals in 16 appearances. So they used him a good amount for almost 20 innings.
Moretto, who begged his coach to let him stay on the Cape, now with a chance to really add some more runs for that Cape team. He lines one up into right field. This one is very shallow. Coming on in and making the grab in short right field is Brendan Rivoli, and everybody's going to have to stay put.
With Nelson coming to the plate, he's the last chance. I'm really impressed with that move by Harvey Shapiro. He does it immediately after Lardner gives up 2 base knocks, and he made the right call. Because even if the Doors can plate 1 run, it could have been even more if they left Lardner in.
And this is a righty-heavy lineup, so they would have been seeing the ball well against the lefty, but instead he opts for a righty to face these 3 right-handers, and so far so good. The third one of that bunch is Matt Nelson, who's 1 for 2. Hit an absolute bullet towards Xavier Warren that he took off the chest for a hit. Fastball misses just outside. That was in his last time up in the 4th inning. It came with 2 outs, and he was the lone man to reach base in that inning. Matt Nelson finished the summer with a 163 average, but really came on as of late. He had a 1 for 19 spell, then a 4-game hitting streak. Here's a pop-up into foul territory on the first base side. Camping under it and making the catch is Madole, and the threat is extinguished. The Bourne Braves allow no runs on 2 hits. They opt for a reliever, and he works the next 3 batters down easily. No errors and 2 runners left on base as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 1-0 Falmouth in another barn burner of a ball game.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Welcome back to Bourne, Massachusetts, where the Commodores lead the Braves by a score of only 1-0. As we enter the bottom of the 6th inning, it'll be Nick Nastrini yet again on the mound for Falmouth, and he has been lights out ever since the 2nd inning. Has now retired 11 batters in a row.
He has been awesome, and it's kind of a double-edged sword when you're outplaying your opponent, right? The Commodores with 9 hits to Bourne's 1, but you're only up by 1.
Right.
Because you feel like you're doing better, you're feeling like you can add on more easily. But that team that's trailing says, okay, you know, you're out hitting us by 8, but we're still only 1 run down. It can give confidence to either side.
Fabian goes after the first pitch as he bounds it foul. Time now called behind home plate by Rich Gaetani.
Something I wanted to hit on earlier, I think this has been a very well officiated game.
Yeah.
I think the pitchers have also made it easy with Lardner and Nastrini on the bump, but I think Gaetani's doing a great job behind the plate. Mickey Garcia's made some good calls.
0-1, just misses down and away. Yeah, he's had 2 bang-bang calls, once against the Commodores, once for the Commodores. That both times he called out. Each team has benefited from it, so neither team can be too upset. 1-1 to Judd. A fastball up around his neck, but he goes around. 1-2. Tried to hold up the swing, but just a little too much movement from his torso as he was trying to dodge out of the way of that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fabian, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Nastrini, a breaking ball just below the knees. Really good movement, and somehow he laid off. One ball, 2 strikes to the Florida center fielder, originally from Ocala, a freshman at UF this past year. Grounds one towards his third base coach and head coach, Harvey Shapiro. Count will remain the same.
Shapiro didn't even flinch.
Yeah, that was a hot shot.
That was a line drive right at him.
2-2 still the count. Nastrini up to 70 pitches. Still only the 1 hit, and he's only walked 1 as well. The pitch. Breaking ball just misses high. Saw that one called a strike before. It was for a first pitch strike. Believe it came against Kyle Hess way back in the 2nd. This time it sits high.
Yeah, I thought 2 of those curveballs might have clipped the strike zone.
Here's the payoff pitch. It's another curveball. This time he gets a swing and a miss from Fabian. The second swinging strikeout against Judd Fabian. He falls to 0 for 3, and Nastrini continues to run roughshod through this Bourne lineup.
At bat, number 7 from Boston College.
Man, this is awesome to watch.
We got a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been awesome. 7 strikeouts now. That's tied for his season high.
Cody Morissette was one of those 7 strikeouts in his 2nd at-bat. First pitch to the Boston College Eagle is taken below the knees for ball 1.
73 pitches now for Nastrini. Looks like Maldonado, who is warming in that pen.
The 1-0 to the lefty, swung on and missed. Morissette had a .252 average during the summer. 27 strikeouts against him. 15 RBIs. The 1-1. Tapper back towards the mound. This is towards the third base side. Moretto tries to field it on a bare hand, but it skips up and between his fingers. Cody Morissette is going to reach first base with what will most likely be an infield single.
It is a single, and it ends the streak of 12 in a row retired by Nastrini. He issued a walk to Madole with 1 out in the 2nd inning, and then a 1-out single for Morissette. And it was just off the end of the bat. Not like he even really beat Nastrini. But he gets aboard, and that's all you need if you're Bourne. Tying run is at first.
Pretty impossible play for Moretto. We have seen him make it before, but he couldn't get it executed this time around. And this is the part of the game where I think the men are separated from the boys. He's got the heart of the lineup up to the plate in a 1-run game with a runner on and 1 out. His first pitch fastball is dropped by Nelson, but still called a strike. 0-1 to Xavier Warren. This is where you also bear in mind Nick Nestrini's composure, his maturity, the way he's able to battle back from a tough break and settle down. Pretty unheard of, the type of maturity we've seen from Nestrini for a rising sophomore.
I go back to that Judd Fabian home run in the game between the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves that ended the 11-game winning streak. The Commodores infield was beside themselves. Right. They thought it was a foul ball by about 20 feet. Nestrini barely even batted an eye, was on the mound ready to go.
His 0-1, a fastball that just misses off the plate. We've seen that before from Nick, where he doesn't really bow to his emotions. He's always locked in right there. He's almost like a Terminator on the mound.
Yeah, just such poise.
His 1-1 to Warren. Morissette is running. It skips in the dirt. The throw down to second. Skips a little bit. Cruz had to field it on a pick, and he couldn't get the tag in time. Cody Morissette with only his first stolen base of the summer in a huge situation for a Bourne team that never steals.
You mentioned it, Danny. Bourne really doesn't push their luck on the base paths. In the regular season, they had just 19 stolen bases, by far the fewest on the Cape.
And
But
Cody was dead to rights, too.
Yeah, it was a tough throw for Nelson because the ball skipped in the dirt, but still almost got him.
Nestrini taking his time, now fires a 2-1 that misses below the knees. 3 balls, 1 strike to the 3-hitter Warren, who's 0 for 2.
You got Glowenke on deck, too, with a runner in scoring position. As you said, Danny, this inning, the most important for Nestrini.
Warren finished his summer leading the Braves in batting average at .315 and 24 RBIs. He's got a man in scoring position right here. His 3-1. Fastball on the outside corner makes the count full. Again, intensity at Doran Park. Last night we saw it a couple of different times with Doors on the mound protecting a 1-run lead, especially in the top of the 9th inning. Right now we've gotten it in the bottom of the 6th. Nestrini's payoff pitch. Chopper towards first, and it'll bounce foul.
I'd like to see a curveball here from Nestrini. That was the pitch that got Fabian in the 6th. His changeup has been spiked in the dirt a lot tonight, but that curveball has been lethal.
This is such a tricky spot because you don't want to put 2 runners on for Glowenke. At the same time, you don't want to put a pitch too far over the strike zone for Warren.
Right.
Such a dangerous hitter, no matter what the count is. Nestrini from the stretch, kicks and fires another 3-2. It's a fastball. This time it's bounded towards the other direction. Another foul. Only 2 hits for Bourne on the ball game. Their first came all the way back in the first inning thanks to the man on deck, Jimmy Glowenke. It was a double. Their second, a batter ago, Cody Morissette, an infield single that barely made it past the mound. Third try at 3-2. Another fastball flared up towards the left side. Moretto gives chase. It will go out of play, and this endless at-bat will wear on.
Yeah, this is going to be pitch number 9 in the AB. Nestrini up to 83 pitches. This might be his last batter one way or the other. You never see pitchers go to like 90 on the Cape.
Stranger things have happened in the playoffs. The Doors up 1-0 on the series, trying to cement their ticket to the Western Division Final. That would be played on Monday. The 9th pitch, another 3-2, another fastball that misses high. Warren lays off, and he will reach first base with a walk. Now runners on first and second, only 1 out for the cleanup man, Jimmy Glowenke.
At bat, number 4 from Dallas Baptist University, Jimmy Glowenke.
Michael Andrews staying put. This is Nestrini's AB.
It's a righty-righty matchup, Glowenke versus Nestrini. The man on deck, Rivoli, is a lefty. So this potentially could be his final batter. You know, he's looking for that ground ball. It would mean 2 in the end of an inning. He's going to look back the runner on second first. Keep in mind, game 1, first inning, Bourne has runners on first and third.
Yep.
And Jimmy Glowenke grounded into an inning-ending double play. Falmouth would love that again right here. His first pitch is a curveball that does not break. Ball 1.
I think Glowenke's also licking his chops because of that strikeout in the 4th inning. He was so frustrated at himself for chasing a pitch way low and outside, and then he watched a meaty curveball right down the middle. He's out for blood in this third at-bat.
Here's the 1-0. Another curve. This time it's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Glowenke. Jimmy went 1 for 4 in game 1. He finished his summer with a .296 average, tied for the team lead with Warren at 24 RBIs. 1-1, swung on and missed. Beautiful changeup from Nastrini. Let's see if he can buckle down even further, dig deep, and try to get a strikeout. He's got Glowenke 1-2. He's already struck him out once in this ball game. Kicks and fires. The pitch. Did he go around? No, he did not. It was a breaking ball down on the outside part of the plate in the dirt, and Mickey Garcia said that Glowenke just held up. Jimmy, not a guy who strikes out really at all. Has struck out in this ball game, but he finished the summer with only 14. Mastrini's 2-2 offering a fastball that's lined back and out of play.
I know I keep harping on it, but this pitch count is insane. 89 pitches now.
If he hits 90 but gets an out, I'm sure he'd be happy getting out of the ball game with 2 outs. Second chance at a 2-2. Again, fouled back to the same location. Matt Nelson behind the plate. Seems like he's calling all the right pitches because nobody's really been able to connect with one of these 2-strike pitches all too well.
Nastrini's really got to dig deep here, though. He issued a walk to Warren after a long at-bat. Can't afford to issue another.
Here comes the pitch. Just misses the outside part of the plate. The appeal down to first. No dice. Glowenke again just holding the wrists in time, and the count is full for the second straight batter.
It's crazy to think. Almost like 15% of Nastrini's pitches come in these last 2 at-bats.
Right. The payoff pitch. Fastball just misses inside. Matt Nelson has no idea where it missed. He has some words for Rich Gaetani. Looking back towards the dugout, he was holding that glove right there for a good 10 seconds and somehow didn't get the call. Another walk, the second in a row, and the bases are full for the Braves. Maybe the closest pitch we have seen all game long that does not get called for a strike.
I can't believe Nastrini's at 92 pitches, and now he's going up with the bases loaded and 1 out.
His first pitch to Brendan Rivoli is a breaking ball that skips in the dirt. Great block by Matt Nelson, and he did get a swing and a miss from Rivoli.
Because Nastrini has not issued walks at all tonight. Had just 1 through his first 5 innings, 2 in back-to-back batters.
Mike Landry might be thinking he's just getting squeezed a little bit. He's really throwing good pitches. Nastrini's 0-1. Another breaking ball. It is torqued up the first base side, but foul.
And this seems like, you know, what could be the turning point or the breaking point in this game. This could be, you know, a huge inning for the Braves if they capitalize, maybe tie it or take the lead. And if Nastrini can escape this jam, it would feel like all Falmouth.
0-2 to Rivoli. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 3. A roar of applause from the Falmouth side as Nastrini gets his 8th strikeout of the ball game and the 2nd out of a long 6th inning.
And that's the most fired up I've seen him after a big strikeout. I mean, he had some words. He was saying, "Let's go," as he looked into his catcher Nelson, and now he's going to have to do it again.
He's up against big bad Jake McKenzie. First pitch, ground ball over towards short. Cruz can't come up with the scoop. 1 run will score. 2nd run coming around. The throw will be cut off. It's a 2-run single for Jake McKenzie as the Braves come out to a 2-1 lead. It's the first time we have seen Trey Cruz on the infield unable to come up with one of those awkward hoppers, and it beats the doors as the Braves now take the lead for the first time in this series.
And it's an E6. Skipped under the glove of Cruz and into center field. One of those hard hoppers up the middle, and it would have been a quick flip onto second base to get him out of the inning. Instead, 2 unearned runs. So Nastrini did not allow an earned run all game. And all of a sudden, the Bourne Braves have the lead.
That will be the end of the road for Nick Nastrini. A stellar outing, but he right now will leave the game on the losing side of things if the score remains the same. 2-1 thanks to the error from Cruz and the 2 runs that come home on the ground ball from McKenzie. Aiden Maldonado will come in to try to clean up the mess when we return on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves. The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
All of a sudden, it's a 2-1 ball game after Jake McKenzie got on base on an E6. And it'll be Aiden Maldonado to come in relief of Nick Nastrini to try to figure out this final out of the 6th inning.
3.11 ERA in the 2019 summer, 3-1 record. 17 and a third innings of work in that strikeout total at 30. That's insane for a reliever. Only 6 walks. He just needs 1 out here, and then the Doors are probably looking to him for the 7th, maybe the 8th.
Nick Nastrini came so darn close to getting out of that jam. First, Cody Morissette reaches on an infield single. It was a little nubber towards the third base side and just barely beat the mound. He reached first base with 1 out. Stole second when he should have been out, but a little bit of a low throw from the catcher Matt Nelson had to be scooped by Cruz, and the tag was just a little bit late. Another chance where he could have been out. Xavier Warren then works a count full. Watches a couple close pitches go by, and after 9 total pitches, he gets on base with a walk. Then Jimmy Glowenke watches a 3-2 pitch right on the inside corner that missed somewhere. He reaches with a walk. Brendan Rivoli with the bases loaded struck out, and Jake McKenzie swung at the first pitch. Would have been the final out of the inning, but sneaks under the glove of the shortstop. 2 runs came home on that 1 ground ball, and now it's Joshua Madole, the left-handed first baseman, who watches a first pitch ball from Maldonado. He's got runners on first and second. Madole 0 for 1, walked in his first AB and flew out to center back in the 5th. Maldonado from the University of Illinois, pitching from the stretch. Looking back, the runner at second. Kicks that left leg and fires a fastball in the outside corner. That time called a strike.
Madole again has had a really good night at the plate, worked a big walk in the 2nd inning, and then a long fly out in the 5th.
Aiden taking his time with his glove at his chest, now comes home with the 1-1, fires the fastball right through the swing of Joshua Madole to make it a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and that fastball's really got some extra zip on it in the latter half of the summer. Out at Katuitt, he pitched 2 innings of work, got the win, no earned runs, struck out 3, and that fastball was mid-90s.
1-2 the count to the Greensboro Spartan Madole. Maldonado again set. Lifts and fires. Fastball grounded off the third base bag, and it trickles into left field into no man's land. Coming around to score is Jimmy Glowenke. Into third goes Jake McKenzie. It's an RBI single off the bat of Joshua Madole to make it 3-1 Bourne.
Wow. I mean, that is about as tough of a break as you can get for Falmouth. I mean, hard hit ground ball that rolled directly into the bag and skipped up over Moretto. There's nothing he can do. And Madole, again, late on the fastball like he was yesterday against Brixey, but just finding a gap and finding a way on the left side of the infield.
And that, even if it went into left field, potentially wouldn't have scored Glowenke, but once it hit the bag, it changed everybody's route, and they had no shot.
Yeah.
Runners on the corners now for Kyle Hess. First pitch fastball. Ricochets off the bat. They call it a foul tip, and it hits the home plate umpire, Rich Gaetani. No balls and 1 strike to Hess.
And those 2 walks that Nastrini issued to Warren and Glowenke are really, I think, one of many storylines here in this bottom of the 6th inning, because they both come around to score. They were both great at bats in which they took a lot of pitches, made Nastrini work, and then had a great eye for that 4th ball.
Hess 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. The DH from Pittsburgh batting from the right side. Here's Maldonado's 0-1. Breaking ball that misses down and in. Runner on third is McKenzie. Runner on first, Madole. McKenzie, the base runner, still belongs to Nastrini. Here's the 1-1. Fastball cut on and missed. Again, Bourne with 2 strikes against them. We'll see if finally the Doors can get out of the inning this time.
With 8 batters now to the plate and 3 runs scored, this is the most lopsided inning that either team has put up in this series.
First time the Doors have trailed in the series as well. The 1-2, a breaking ball that misses outside, and it looked like Madole was trying to get himself caught in a rundown as he was stealing on the pitch. Stopped halfway when Nelson caught it, but Nelson doesn't fall for it. They were looking to get him caught in a rundown. McKenzie would come around to score before the out was made, and it would have brought home another run, but Nelson just lets him go. Now both runners are in scoring position. 2-2 the count to Hess. Here's the pitch. Fastball cranked into deep left field, giving chase is Maisel. He's at the track, he's under it, and he will make the catch for the final out of the 6th inning. But it's a long 6th inning, and it scores a couple runs for Bourne. They scored 3 runs on only 2 hits, 1 error against Falmouth, and 2 runners left on base. The Doors with 3 outs to work with in Game 2 to try to come back. Down 3-1. We'll be right back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
The ball back in the paws of Jared Poland as we begin the top of the 7th inning. Falmouth Commodores trailing the Bourne Braves for the first time in the series by a score of 3-1. Danny LaRose, David Korzanowski on the call for you on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Doors with 9 outs to work with in these final 3 frames to inch back. They'll be led off by Austin Maisel here in the 7th. The lefty from Holy Cross swings at a first pitch off speed, and he bounces it foul, 0-1.
Yeah, tough bottom of the 6th for the Commodores, but now they just have to reset. Down 2, but just got to swing early against Poland.
Second pitch is a ball up high. Final line for Nick Nastrini, 5 2/3 innings of work. Allowed only 2 hits, 3 runs, none of them earned, 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. 1-1, line foul. A masterful outing for Nastrini, one of the best of his summer, but right now he's on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, sour taste in his mouth for sure. Really tough that all 3 runs were unearned. You could see that ground ball almost in slow motion back up the middle, but then Cruz had to bring up that left-hand. It scooted right under the glove.
1-2 is a fastball in the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Maisel is frustrated. Fans here saying you got to call that other one, hearkening back to the Glowenke walk with a pitch in the same exact location, but Gaetani gives it to Poland and not Nastrini. 1 down. Hayden Cantrell maybe will take David's advice of swinging early against a guy like Poland who strikes out a ton of batters. The first pitch he does swing at. It's a big breaking ball, 0-1.
And I think Poland knew that Cantrell was going to swing first pitch because he's done it in all 3 at-bats so far in this game, and Poland goes to nasty off-speed, which he has no shot of making contact on.
0-1, a fastball below the knees. Cantrell, a switch hitter, batting from the left side for the first time in this ball game. His first 3 ABs were against Mac Lardner, and he was successful. Went 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Here's the 1-1. Fastball, real good pitch to hit, but he fouls it away up and towards the Bourne dugout out of play. Jared Poland has been brilliant against the Commodores this summer when he's been on the mound. His only other time pitching against Falmouth was on July 28th. He went 2 innings, allowed only 2 hits, struck out 3 batters, and got the win. The 1-2, another fastball, fouled away. Doors with 1 run on 9 hits, 2 errors. Bourne 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Here's a big curveball, foul tipped into the glove of Carmody. 2 up, 2 down, both on strikeouts.
And Poland, again, about half of his outs have been Ks. 3 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3 of work. And again, I go back to that quick and decisive pull by Harvey Shapiro in the 6th. Mac Lardner gets tagged for 2 base hits in the top half of the inning. Doors look like they're cooking, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. Poland comes out and says, just you wait.
Here's the first pitch to Blake Dunn. It misses down and away. So although the Doors have tripled the hit output of the Braves currently have tripled the run output of the Doors. The pitch tags the outside corner somewhere, 1-1. A little bit of a bigger strike zone as we go along. The 1-1 from Poland to Dunn is a breaking ball lifted towards the right side, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Blake. First 2 batters of this inning both struck out. Poland with a chance to strike out the side. He's retired all 5 batters he's faced in this ball game. The pitch. Breaking ball back towards the middle. This will be fielded on a backhand by Morissette. His throw to first is in the nick of time. A 4-3 put out to retire the side. Doors go down 1-2-3 in the 7th as we'll head to the home 7th. Stretch time from Bourne. The Braves leading 3-1.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
To the bottom of the 7th we go. The Falmouth Commodores trailing the Bourne Braves 3-1. It'll be 9-1 and 2 in the order for Bourne. Carmody followed by Fabian, then Morissette. Aiden Maldonado back out for another inning of work. He got the final out of the 6th, although he did allow a base hit that scored a run.
Yeah, and that was the single from Madole, who continues to put good wood on the bat and work really great ABs.
And it was that run that kind of, I know there's a lot more game to be played, but that run that feels like a backbreaker for Falmouth. When it's only one run and, you know, it doesn't seem too big, but the difference between 1 and 2 runs just seems huge. First pitch from Maldonado on the inning, misses down and in.
Yeah, I mean, this team can definitely still come back. I hear your point that the deficit feels a little bit bigger.
Carmody so far 0 for 2, struck out his last time at the plate. The 1-0, a fastball right down Broadway. Top of the order led by Fabian, who's on deck. So far have been up to the plate 3 times. The 1-1, another fastball and another strike.
Maldonado works quickly. Fastball stays low. It's got a ton of zip on it. And I think he's going right back to it. This 9-hitter Carmody hasn't even come close.
The 1-2 to the rising senior from Hartford is a breaking ball that's fouled back into the screen. He was on that one. Looked like he was expecting curve.
Yeah. A little bit surprised at the call, but Nelson seems to be right in sync with both of his pitchers.
Yeah. I've not seen either of the pitchers step off the mound once. Maldonado from the stretch. The 1-2. There's another big curve, and it gets a strike 3. Swing and a miss from Carmody for the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
And that 6th inning is also huge because it gets the top of the order back up the inning after. So no time for the Commodores pitching staff to breathe. Judd Fabian 0 for 3. He was 1 for 4 yesterday. He's too good of a hitter to really be silenced for too long. Got to be careful here.
His 1 hit yesterday came in his 3rd at-bat. This, as you mentioned, his 4th AB. His last 2 at-bats, both strikeouts to bring him up to a tally of 39 on the summer. First pitch to the right, he swung on and missed. Looked like an off-speed pitch that was up in the zone, and Fabian was trying to deposit it over the fence. Righty-righty matchup with nobody on base and 1 out. Bourne leads by a pair. The pitch, breaking ball that skips in the dirt. Judd Fabian against the Commodores this summer was 3 for 16 as the 1-1 is cut on and missed. 3 straight breaking balls thrown by Maldonado to the center fielder.
Looks really good right now. Every pitch is being thrown for a strike.
Compared to some of the other teams that Fabian played against, the Doors definitely had his number. 1-2 the count. Maldonado set at the belt. Kicks and deals. A fastball right back through the middle for a base hit. Great contact by Fabian, who was sitting fastball with 2 strikes the whole way, and he's on base for the first time tonight.
Man, how about this 2-strike approach at the plate for the Bourne Braves?
Unreal.
Go back to the 6th inning. Warren and Glowenke, both down 2 strikes. They work the count full. They work a walk. They foul back a handful of pitches. Madole gets a 2-out single. And then Fabian here in the 7th.
2-strike approach has been brilliant for the Braves as a first pitch sinks below the knees to Cody Morissette. He started off that long 6th inning with a slow roller back towards the mound that the third baseman Steven Moretto couldn't barehand. It was an infield single. Pickoff back to first, nothing doing. He ended up stealing a base as well. So for a guy who did not steal at all during the entire regular season, all 44 games, had a stolen base last night and a stolen base tonight. He's 2 for 2. The 1-0. Fastball cut on and missed. A couple of fastballs have been tagged pretty hard. Madole comes to mind when he lasered the heater off the third base bag for a single, and then Fabian just the batter before. But a lot of fastballs have been beating a lot of these hitters. Maldonado's 1-1. Misses down, 2-1.
And right now he looks just a little bit more rattled with Fabian on first. Nearly every pitch in that last at-bat was a strike. The batter before to Carmody, but now missing a little bit low.
Pickoff move over to first base, but the ball gets away from Jackson Coots, and Fabian's going to advance to second as the wheels are coming off for the Doors.
Yeah, that's exactly the expression. You had the error in the sixth, and then just uncharacteristic plays. 2 errors for the Commodores in this game. A ball thrown away by Maldonado over towards first. And in the playoffs, every mistake is heightened almost.
Right.
It's like you have no room for error, and every time there might be an error, it can be costly.
A third error put on the board against the Commodores compared to Bourne's 0. The 2-1 to the lefty Morissette gets away from Nelson and rolls towards the backstop. He's going to have no chance to catch Fabian, who now advances on to third.
And that's just such a gut punch because now he's over at third base, with just 1 out. Sac fly scores a run, all of a sudden 4-1. Maldonado showing he's a little bit wild here. We saw in his first outing of the summer, 2/3 of an inning, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 hits against Hyannis. He's been brilliant since.
The 3-1 is a fastball that's swung on and missed. 3-2 now the count, but whenever it's 3-2, it seems like the Bourne hitters just become that much better. Commodores won game 1 3-2. Currently trail game 2 3-1. Normally you see a lot of sweeps on the Cape. 3-game series oftentimes can put out the losing team after the first game and pretty much set them down for the count. Here's the 3-2, and it's a very late and kind of unwarranted swing by Cody Morissette as he just flails at an outside fastball and goes down on strikes.
He just shattered the bat as he heads back to the dugout because he lunged and stuck out that right hand, let go of the left hand just because he wanted to fend it off. It was a juicy-looking pitch that shifted to the outside. Morissette just looks foolish. That's a big K for confidence. And also because 2 outs, you don't really have to worry about that runner at third.
Xavier Warren now up at the plate, hitless in the 2 ball games so far, but has reached base in 3 of his 7 plate appearances. Swings at the first pitch, flies it into left field. Austin Maisel will make the catch, and the left fielder retires the side again for the 2nd straight inning. The Doors allow no runs on the 1 hit, 1 error, and strand a runner over on third base. We will head to the top of the 8th inning. Leading off for the Doors, Zach DeLoach, the batting champion in the Cape League. It'll be the heart of the order for Falmouth as they trail by 2.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back to Bourne as we are just about to get underway in the top of the 8th inning. The Commodores and the Braves currently still playing. A couple other games across the Cape have finished. This is the final one to get underway and the final one to conclude. David, take us around the Cape for some of these other playoff games.
Let's do it. The Katuitt Kettleers and the Wareham Gatemen playing in Game 2 at Lowell Park. And Katuitt comes back with an absolute vengeance. They lost in a walk-off last night at Spillane. They win 22-2. Scored 10 runs in 1 inning, batted 13 batters, and destroyed the Gatemen to force a Game 3. Harwich, 4 runs in the 2nd inning. Former Falmouth Commodore had a single. As the Mariners sweep the Anglers with a 4-2 win at home, they will face Yarmouth Dennis, who beat the Orleans Firebirds in 2 games as well. They trailed for a majority of that game, but came back and won 11-7 at Red Wilson. So a Game 3 between Katuitt and Wareham, possibly a Game 3 between Bourne and Falmouth if the Doors can't get cooking in these last couple innings.
And how about that in the East? Both of the bottom seeds, the 3 and the 4, come up with sweeps. You called it. You said Harwich would win over the Anglers because their pitching is that much better. It was definitely the case yesterday when they threw a no-hitter in a 1-0 win, and today limited Chatham to only 2 runs. So Harwich, the 4 seed, advances to face off YD, who was a weird 3 seed because everybody pretty much knew they probably had Orleans' number. First pitch to Zach DeLoach is fouled back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. The man on the mound now is Kieran Shaw, a guy who the Doors have seen before, and as my partner describes, is dirty.
Yeah, he's lethal. I mean, 1.31 ERA. This is now his 15th appearance. He made 14 appearances in the regular season, 13 2/3 innings of work, 5 saves, 20 strikeouts, and just 3 walks. They're looking at him for 6 outs, no question.
The 0-1 to DeLoach is a curveball that sits below the knees. Zach 1 for 3 has the lone RBI for Falmouth in this ball game. They have 9 hits, can only scratch across the 1 run. Here's the pitch, a fastball. Good pitch as well on the outside part of the plate and belt high, but he can't catch up to it.
Kieran Shaw. I referenced a statistic yesterday kept by the Cape League that was reliever points. Brixey with the most, 3 points for every save and 2 points for a relief win. Brixey's at 23, that's first in the Cape League. Kieran Shaw tied for second with 17 points.
Here's a ground ball over towards the first base side, and it squeaks past the first baseman, Joshua Madole. He couldn't catch up to it in time, going towards his right, and Zach DeLoach continues his relentless pace. His second single of the ball game makes him 2 for 4.
And this is the AB I'm watching coming up right now because Trey Cruz has a chance to bail himself out and keep this inning going. He singled his last time up against Mac Lardner. Now he's going up against Kieran Shaw after that error. Don't want to harp on it, but that did score the 3 runs. They were all unearned because Cruz had a play over at short that could have ended the inning and preserved the 1-0 lead for Falmouth.
Batting from the left side for the first time today against the righty Shaw. He watches a fastball up and away for ball number 1. Trey finished the summer at 22 RBIs, 1 behind the team lead. Has only 1 RBI in his last 5 games played. The pitch, a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Trey again jumping up and down pretty much every at-bat he's had. There's been a pitch that he's disagreed with. He singled his last time up, currently 1 for 3. That led off the 6th inning, but was stranded on second base. Shaw looking back to Loach at first, who's taken a moderate lead. From the stretch, kicks and deals the 1-1, just off the outside part of the plate.
It's taken a lot here. It's a gutsy approach against Shaw, who throws a ton of strikes, but so far working out. He's going to give you something to hit here. This will be a strike.
Trey does have some power. 3 home runs on the summer. A home run here would tie the ball game. Fastball.
Whoa.
Outside again. I saw Carmody's glove flinch a little bit towards the outside part of the plate, and I think that's definitely what brought the ball.
Yeah, not often you see this guy go down 3-1.
It's a friendly hitter's count to Trey Cruz. This time you know he'll see a strike. Shaw's offering. It's not a strike. It's below the knees for ball 4. Trey Cruz works a 5-pitch walk. Zach DeLoach advances to second base, and the potential tying run is on first. Potential go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Jackson Coots.
Broadcasters jinxed twice, saying that it was going to be a strike. Definitely. I don't know. The playoffs can be a whole different animal. Shaw was a beast in the regular season with 5 saves and 1 relief win, but all of a sudden you got the pressure on in an elimination game. You're coming in earlier than you usually do in the 8th instead of the 9th.
And that was my thought process before the ball game. As Coots, a lefty up against Shaw, the righty. Coots is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. The first pitch, a fastball that he watches on the outside corner for strike 1. And my thought process was, you know, one member of our media team said, Game 1 is so important because so often you see the team that wins Game 1, the other team just kind of falls out of it and they just give up pretty much. And that's why last year I think it was no coincidence that every single postseason series ended in a sweep. But in a 3-game series, if you win Game 2, anything can happen in a Game 3. 0-1, breaking ball, smashed into left field, not deep enough. McKenzie is camped under it, and he will make the grab out in very deep left. Both runners will have to jog back to their respective bases.
Wow, pinch hit.
It's going to be Baron Radcliffe instead of Troy Claunch. The team leader in home runs and a lefty coming into the designated hitter position up against the righty Kieran Shaw, looking for at least a base hit.
Number 44 from Georgia Tech, Baron Radcliffe.
The crowd on the Falmouth side greeting him with warm applause. 237 average this summer. 4 doubles, a triple, 6 home runs. I know it's tempting. You can't be thinking home run here. If it's right in your wheelhouse, sure, go ahead and unleash on it, but don't try to do too much. Just need one at a time if you're Falmouth. Still only 1 out.
He got the start at DH last night, went 0 for 3 with a pair of Ks. The first pitch to the lefty from Georgia Tech, taken below the knees. You know everything is going to be low to Barron in this at-bat.
Yeah, and Shaw, he's probably feeling some nerves too right now. You see big bad Baron Radcliffe. He comes in 6'4", 235, towering at the plate. Home run derby contestant.
The Beast, the Baron, was a all-state quarterback in high school with offers from Ohio State. Opted for baseball. 1-0. Fastball cranked into left field. This one pretty deep, but still playable for McKenzie. He ranges over, and he nearly overruns it, but comes down with the baseball. Back-to-back opposite field flyouts into left makes it 2 outs with 2 runners still on.
And Radcliffe usually likes to take more pitches.
Right.
Swung at the second pitch, and it was one to hit, just kind of sliced it. Got a little bit underneath it, and Shaw, a big out.
Yeah, that's a huge out, number 2. He could have seen a lot more pitches thrown. You know, like you said, Barron loves to take pitches. Potentially saves Shaw's arm for a second inning of work if he manages to get out of this one unscathed. Steven Moretto is going to be the hitter. 1 for 3 on the day with a single in his first AB. First pitch to the third baseman, taken too far inside for ball 1. Moretto, like Radcliffe, also with a lot of home run power. We've only seen it twice this summer, but he had 8 home runs in his freshman year at Sac State, 9 home runs his sophomore year. He's gone 7 straight games without a ribby. The 1-0. Fastball grounded towards third. This will be an easy play for Xavier Warren as he scoops it up and steps on the bag himself. The first 2 runners get on base for the second time in 3 innings, but they stay exactly where they were as the doors come up empty, scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and stranding those 2 on base. We'll head to the top of the 9th, 3-1 in favor of Bourne.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Top 9 about to get underway from Doran Park in Bourne. 4, 5, and 6, or excuse me, bottom 8 about to get underway from Doran Park in Bourne. 4, 5, and 6 still up to the plate to go for Bourne, and they'll be going up against Christian Edwards, the reliever from Jacksonville State, who's a late addition for the Commodores but has been lights out in his limited appearances.
4 innings of work. He's gone 2 innings twice. First time against Orleans, faced 1 over the minimum, allowed just 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and then against Hyannis, he picked up a relief win in Game 1 of the doubleheader on July 29th. 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. He was awesome.
He'll try to lock down an 8th inning for the Doors to keep it at a 2-run deficit and see if they can come back in the top of the 9th inning. You know Falmouth does not want to face a Game 3. First of all, like we were saying last half inning, anything can happen in a Game 3. At that point, it just becomes, you know, a Game 1 at that point. It's anything goes, and whoever wins moves on. At the same time, they had a chance to have a day off tomorrow, something they haven't had in about 2 weeks since their last rainout. What with Wareham getting destroyed by Katuitt earlier today to force a Game 3. Instead, right now, they're staring at a potential Game 3 of their own back at Gov Fuller Field tomorrow evening.
Yeah, got to take it one step at a time, though. You want to limit the damage and keep this at a 3-1 deficit. Then you got to get to the top of the order. You got hitters 8 and 9 due up in the top of the 9th. Nelson and Maisel, it's their job to have one, if not both of them, get aboard to try to keep this game going.
Gluenke, so far 1 for 2, doubled his first time up, struck out his second time up, and then walked in the 6th inning on a very borderline pitch. Looked like it should have been strike 3. Instead, he reached first base and then later came around to score on a single a couple batters later from Joshua Madole. Righty-righty matchup. Edwards kicks and deals. First pitch. He bounces 3 feet in front of the plate.
Maybe some jitters for Edwards. We saw it in the first couple batters he faced in his debut in Orleans. He's going to be a junior next year at Jacksonville State. 4.99 ERA. Was their save guy.
Led the team in saves as their closer. 1-0. Fastball up and off the mask of Matt Nelson. 1-1 as it was foul tipped. Gluenke was a very dangerous hitter all summer long for Bourne. Finished with a .296 average and 24 ribbies. Also a pair of home runs and 6 doubles for him. 8 extra base hits in total. Edwards is 1-1. Another breaking ball that skips off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gluenke extended his 3-game hitting streak to 4 games with his first inning double. Was 4 for his last 11 entering the ball game. Continues to hit at a great pace. Here's the 2-1, a fastball. Popped up and away, foul.
And when we were going into that 6th inning, I said, as the Doors were up 1-0, that it felt like Falmouth was the better team. They had 9 hits compared to Bourne's 1, but that Bourne still just being 1 down might have some extra life in them. And let me tell you, Bourne has done an awesome job limiting runners on base for Falmouth and taking advantage of that 6th inning.
2-2 is a fastball that's inside-outed again, up and above the Doors dugout. Rivoli on deck is 0 for 3. Harvey Shapiro will not pinch hit for him in what might be the final ABs for the Braves. Here comes another 2-2. Another fastball. This time it's blasted into left center field, but Blake Dunn will catch up to it and make the catch on the run for out number 1.
Yeah, that ball crushed off the bat. But Dunn, like Fabian, plenty of range out in center. Made that play look easy as he ranged into the gap and made the play.
Rivoli, as I mentioned, 0 for 3 with a strikeout in his last AB. He came up with the bases loaded and 1 out. When Nastrini got the strikeout, looked like he had buckled down deeper. First pitch fastball, misses just below the knees.
And that strikeout that Nastrini had against Rivoli in the 6th inning, bases juiced and 1 out. It was huge. It was on 3 pitches, and you thought the Doors might get out of this.
1-0, a fastball fouled away. I thought they were out of the woods, especially when I saw the ground ball. So often when I see high choppers like that, I think, oh boy, this is going to be a tough play. But when I saw it was hit towards Cruz, you know, you kind of get confident that he's going to come away with it because he had never missed one of those. Instead, the man after Rivoli got on and plated 2 runs as well. Here's the 1-1, a fastball that's up and away. 5 and 6, Rivoli and McKenzie combined 0 for 6. But again, that McKenzie error is the difference. 2-1 fastball just misses outside. Looks like that outside corner to lefties is all of a sudden evaporated. 3-1 now the count. Rivoli only 2 for his last 15. Really been struggling recently. The 3-1. Fastball that's fouled back into the backstop. Rivoli only had 2 walks on the summer compared to 15 Ks in total.
And those 5 strikeouts against Hyannis, he looked untouchable.
Edwards came into pitch in Game 1 against the Harbor Hawks in that doubleheader just earlier this past week. And like David said, was pretty untouchable. 3-2 to Rivoli. Downstairs for ball 4. Only the 3rd walk of the summer for Brendan Rivoli. He's on base with 1 out.
At bat, number 2 from Ford.
It's the little things in playoff games, and the little things have been going Bourne's way. They've been capitalizing with runners on base, especially in that 6th inning, working walks on close pitches, and even little things like a base knock against Aiden Maldonado in the 7th.
First pitch to McKenzie. He lunges for 1 and fouls it back and up above the screen behind home plate.
Because the reason I mentioned that is, in that 7th inning, Maldonado works 1, 2, 3 after Poland. You think, okay, it's a quick-moving game. It gets back to the bats, but Bourne just kind of stopping the momentum right when Falmouth is trying to regain it.
McKenzie has been a thorn in Falmouth's side all summer long as the pitch misses high. He was only 5 for 14 throughout the regular season, but racked up 4 RBIs, 2 of them coming on June 15th, the first time these 2 teams met. 2 more of them coming the final time these 2 teams met on a couple of solo shots. The 1-1 from Edwards. Rivoli is running. It's a line drive back towards second base. Cantrell has to get there. Edwards is going to go for it himself. His backhanded to flip onto first base, not in time. And everything is coming up Bourne right now.
Yeah, first of all, great effort for Edwards getting off the mound and getting into the second base spot. You never see that, but the reason was because Cantrell was running over to second base to field the throwdown from Nelson, because running was Brendan Rivoli. He was trying to steal the base, and then it's just hit back to where Cantrell had just ran from.
So 2 men on and 1 out for Madole, who had an RBI single back in the 6th to plate the 3rd run for the Braves. Here's the first pitch to the lefty. It misses below the knees. Like I said, everything is coming up Bourne right now because they get the 2 runs on the crucial error back in the 6th that would have ended the inning. They get a single from Madole that hits the bag instead of probably being recorded on the infield, and probably would have been an infield single, but ends up in no man's land in the outfield, and then they get that weird bouncer. 1-0, fastball outside corner for a strike. Josh now has a hit in every single game he's played on the summer. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss on a heater. Duel also has a strikeout in every single game he's played this summer, and he's facing a 1-2 count right here from Edwards. From the stretch, Christian lifts and fires. It's a line drive over towards first base. Coots is there. He's going to not throw to second. He's going to go to first instead. Realized he didn't have a chance on McKenzie, who was heading into the second base bag. Turned around and just in time is able to get Madole. 2 outs.
And even a play like that, where I know it's tricky in the 4-3 gap on the right side of the infield, Commodores look disjointed. Coots ranges over to his right. Cantrell can't get there in time, and the hesitation to second, the throw back to first, it's just not as clean, not nearly as clean as we saw last night.
Kyle Hess 0 for 3, a strikeout, a groundout, and a flyout. Will now be the hitter with runners on second and third. The righty watches the first pitch fastball on the outside black. 0-1. Bourne now with 3 runs, still only 5 hits. One of them coming in this 8th inning. It was another infield hit. The 0-1. Fastball, swing and a miss, letter high. If I remember correctly, 2 of their 5 hits are infield singles, and the third is one that hit the third base bag.
Yeah.
0-2 the count to Hess. Edwards trying to get out of the woods. Here's the pitch. Another fastball and another swing and a miss. He works a 3-pitch strikeout against Kyle Hess to end the 8th inning. Bourne scores no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they strand 2 runners on base. Falmouth Commodores trail by 2 as we enter the top of the 9th inning. The Doors looking for at least 2, if not 3, to try to sweep this series. If not, we're headed to a Game 3 tomorrow at Go Fuller Field. We'll be right back for the 9th inning from Bourne.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Last chance for Falmouth. Down 3-1. Kieran Shaw still on the bump for Bourne. He's the Braves closer, and he has been locked down all summer long. The Doors with 10 hits, but only the 1 run. Need at least 2 to push this one into extras.
Yeah, and how about the chance they had in the 8th? Leadoff single for Deloach, walk from Cruz, and then the next 3 batters go down in order.
Matt Nelson is going to lead off for Falmouth. He's been swinging a red-hot bat lately. 1 for 3 on the ball game. Got really good contact on his lone single, a frozen rope to third. First pitch to Nelson, taken up and in. The catcher ended his season on a 4-game hit streak and has extended it to 5 in this first game played of the playoffs. Shaw's 1-0. Fastball, same spot. This time he swings and tips it into the mitt. Nelson's hot stretch that I was talking about, 5 for his last 13 entering the ballgame, all started against the Braves when he went 2 for 2 on July 27th. Easily the team he's had the most success against. 1-1, broken bat, ground ball towards short. This should be easy for Glowenke. His throw to first in time, out number 1.
Broken bat, and I know we say this a lot, but if that bat stays intact, it's a harder play for Glowenke to make because it's hit harder at him and
Right.
probably tougher to field, but now just 2 more outs for Falmouth to work with and try to make a comeback.
Nelson very much a pull hitter, and when he pulls the ball, he absolutely destroys it. He's a line drive guy and really puts a lot of oomph on the baseball. We've seen it plenty of times. That one had it, but the bat snapped. Here's the first pitch to the pinch hitter, Austin Langworthy, for Austin Maisel. And the second Austin watches a strike on the outside corner. Langworthy in his 3rd year with the Commodores and 3rd playoff appearance.
Struggled against Bourne, though, just 1 for 9 in the regular season.
The 0-1 skips in the dirt. Maisel was 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. That's the first time he's gone hitless in a ball game in what seems like months. 1-1 to Langworthy is down and in. He swings at it but fouls it back. Lang from the University of Florida will be a senior there. Coming off a junior year, he hit .283. This summer, though, hasn't had the same success. 1-2, breaking ball below the knees. He hit only .197 this summer. Walked 16 times, struck out 19 times. Shaw from the windup with that glove perched in front of his mouth. Winds and fires the 2-2 offering. A fastball up and away. The count is full.
Big at-bat from Austin Langworthy. They go to him in a huge position because, as I said, you really want to get this to the top of the order with less than 2 down.
The payoff pitch. Fastball that swung on and missed for strike 3. Shaw climbed the ladder, kept it about letter high, and Lang couldn't catch up. 2 outs.
At bat, number 5 from Louisiana.
Falmouth Commodores now down to their final out in game number 2. And Hayden Cantrell, the switch hitter, takes a deep breath before he approaches Kieran Shaw. Shaw so far has been pretty excellent through an inning and 2/3, allowed the first 2 base runners he saw to reach, and then got the next 3 outs. First pitch he throws to Cantrell, misses, 1-0.
This top of the order can work some magic, though. Cantrell, a 2nd-year Commodore. Deloach, 2 batters away. Best batting average on the Cape.
The 1-0 to Cantrell, swings at a meaty pitch and fouls it away. That one was about middle in.
Shaw only allowed 2 earned runs all summer. Once against Chatham, once against Katuitt, and that was it. 12 of his 14 appearances, shutout.
Shaw's 1-1. Breaking ball, again fouled away. Count 1-2. The Falmouth Commodores are down to their final strike.
And this is tough for Cantrell because he's gotten contact on the off speed, which is more than some of these other guys can say. But he's still down 1-2 with a couple foul balls.
2-strike clap up and ready from the Bourne faithful, trying to see their season get extended. Doors up 1-0 on the series, a potential game 3 in the wings. The 1-2, a fastball that's about eye level for ball number 2.
And it is so much harder to take that than you think. Yeah. 1-2, 2 outs. The pressure's on you. You got to keep this game going. And then you lay off a high fastball. It's tough to do. Great composure.
The 2-2, another fastball, another foul ball. Hayden a little late on these past couple of pitches, but he's doing just enough to stay alive.
And this is by far the longest outing that Shaw's had all summer. This is the 8th batter he's faced. His longest before that was 6 batters against Chatham on June 23rd.
Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed for strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Kieran Shaw in the top of the 9th, and the Bourne Braves season will continue. They managed to salvage this series and tie it up at 1 apiece. The Commodores will be back at home tomorrow night at Gov Fuller Field in a do-or-die game number 3.
This loss stings if you're Falmouth. 3 unearned runs, all scored in the 6th inning when Nastrini was over 90 pitches. 10 hits, but just 1 run and then 3 errors. Commodores could have won this game, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, and Bourne survives.
Now let's start with that pitching because, I mean, Nick Nastrini couldn't have been better in this ball game. 5 2/3 for Nick, 2 hits, 3 runs, like you said, all unearned, 3 walks, 8 Ks, but the defense couldn't back him up. Those 3 errors, and one of them most costly, brought home 2 runs, and at the time it looked like he was going to get out of the woods in a bases-loaded jam, keep the game at 1-0, all of a sudden fell apart, and despite limiting Bourne to only 5 hits, they get the 2-run victory.
Yeah, so I'll start with Nastrini. 5 2/3, he was great, and particularly innings 3 through 5. I mean, he retired 12 in a row at one point. Then he allows the single to Morissette. Tip the cap to Xavier Warren and Glowenke for working those walks, because those two at-bats combined were about 20, 25 pitches. And then Rivoli gets the strikeout, and McKenzie, ground ball up the middle, error by Cruz. That really decides the game.
Unfortunately for the Commodores, it wasn't Nastrini's fault, and it was a really tough play that Trey had to make. A tough scoop that he has made 100% of the time. But if you make it 99 times out of 100, this seemed like it was the 100th time, and it just beat Trey a little bit. Then you flip over towards the bats, and the offense was alive and well. They plated 10 hits, scored a run in the third inning, but that was the lone run to come across for Falmouth, as at the end of the day, they strand 9 runners on, and that's really the glaring statistic.
Yeah, they had hits in innings 1 through 6. They had at least one hit in every single inning. 2 hits in the second, third, and sixth. But then they can't plate any runs except in the third, when they started with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Those left on base really kill you, especially I'm looking at the 6th and the 8th.
Yep.
Because the first and second guys up in that inning get on base. You got runners on first and second, nobody out. A ground ball, think about it this way. A ground ball moves a runner over to third base, and all of a sudden you're 90 feet away with one out. Sac fly possibly scores a run, but some big flyouts and strikeouts for outs 1 and 2 in those innings. Poland was great, and Shaw was as well.
Falmouth's top and middle of the lineup was pretty sound. Cantrell had a couple of hits. Blake Dunn had a single. Zach DeLoach had 2 more singles and an RBI. But it was really the middle to bottom of the order that couldn't get things going for Falmouth. Between batters 6 through 9, only 2 hits between all of them, and plenty of missed opportunities with runners on base and in scoring position. David, I know that you want to work in ideals, and coming into this ball game, we were talking about ideals, that ideally the Doors win. Katuitt and Wareham ends up in a Katuitt win. They go to Game 3. The Doors get a game off tomorrow. Our voices get a rest. These players get a much-needed rest. They can save Franco Aleman for Game 1 entering Round 2. None of that's going to happen. They're going to have to pitch Franco tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think that that is the positive of this game. And I think that that's the positive by starting Nastrini in this game, because I really like the strategy of having Aleman either in an elimination game or in Game 1. You're throwing him tomorrow with a 1.16 ERA. That's pretty darn good in an elimination game, because Bourne has thrown their 2 best starters. They're gone. You know, Domkowski could go tomorrow. He's got a 3 ERA. That's double what Aleman's got. You look to him for 6 innings tomorrow and hope that the bats can get you a comfortable lead. Not just a lead, but a comfortable lead, so that the bullpen can hold for the last 3 innings.
Neither team has ever had a comfortable lead all series. Falmouth won Game 1 3-2. Bourne wins Game 2 3-1. Game 3 will be tomorrow from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth at 6 p.m. Be sure to tune in to YouTube live on our YouTube page at around 5:50 for the pregame show, and in what will be the deciding game of the first round of the Western Division semifinal, as the Doors and the Braves are going to go the distance, just like their counterpart, the Katuitt Kettleers and Wareham Gatemen. We will be back tomorrow at 6, as I mentioned, but for the final time from Bourne, the Braves win 3-1 on 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Falmouth Commodores 1 run on 10 hits, 3 errors. They double the Braves' output in hits, but can't come away with the victory. That'll do it from Doran Park for the final time this summer. For my producer, Maxwell Trink, our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, and my partner, David Korzanowski, I'm Danny LaRose saying so long from Bourne, and we'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. in Falmouth.